everybody. Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Thomas at Choice Minis on your social media of choice. I am joined by my co-host, newly adopted member of Clan Pfizer, 5G internet installer, and real-life historic or heroic scale human being, your friend of mine, Adam Grimm, beach_vacation_Mando on Instagram. Adam, how are you doing, my brother?
I am super crispy today.
Oh boy. Let me guess.
Battling a fun case of the heat rash behind my knees.
Ugh. The worst case of heat rash I ever got, man. Like, not to say that yours isn't bad. Heat rash sucks, period. The worst case of heat rash I ever got was at the, top inside corner of my eyelids when I was living in Japan, and holy dongs, that sucks. Do you know how much you can't touch that part of your body? You're always touching it. It's always touching itself. It sucks.
Yeah, it hurt to walk for like half my day.
Oh boy.
Especially like the end of the day where I was facing east, so the sun is just beating down on the back of my knees where the heat rash is.
Oh no.
And because, super hot out, I'm sweaty. I sweat through all of my sunblock.
Yep.
Or sweat it off, I guess.
Yep.
I could go reapply, but that's
I was going to say, you got to reapply, man.
I do. I reapplied 3 times today.
Wow. I mean, for those of you who aren't in the know, we are in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and we are doing the heat wave, my friends. Oh boy, are we doing the heat wave.
I mean, it wasn't even really bad today, but the UV index was in the red.
Oh yeah, it was 30 degrees today, man. At least it got up to 30 degrees locally here for me. I don't know what the official temperature is going to be, but yeah, we got there. So, for everybody who isn't Adam, we're starting our second chapter of Project Neverfall, or our second volume, third volume. We're going to talk about that in a minute of Project Neverfall. And so, for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, I've posted a bunch of photos. I put it up in my story. We are done. I will show you guys the finished product of the first volume of Project Neverfallen. But Project Neverfallen is our attempt to reimagine the 20 chapters of the Imperium as if they had never fallen to the malevolent forces, to chaos. Nobody ever fell to chaos. Everybody's just happy and part of the Imperium, and everyone loves Big E. Everyone loves the Emperor, right?
No, we can still not love the Emperor. He's still a terrible, terrible father. You know what? I'm not going to say he was the worst.
I feel like I should make merch that says the Biggie is the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of a few years ago when this cosplayer did the God Empress of Mankind, and I totally jumped on the God Empress of Mankind bandwagon because her cosplay was amazing. Her creation of the Emperor's gold armor, and even his big eagle talon lightning claw. Yeah, it was a fully articulated glove.
Nice. That sounds amazing. Was that? I feel like I saw. Maybe it was. I don't feel like it was Comic-Con. I feel like it was Dragon Con or something like that. It wasn't maybe it was Gen Con.
I think it was Dragon Con. It was her first appearance. Nice.
At any rate, yeah, I remember seeing that come across. I think I saw it first on probably Imgur or Reddit. But we are moving on with our chapters here, and since the second chapter is or second Legion, we decided on Legions.
Yeah, we're keeping Legions because there would technically not be any successor chapters because no one ever fell. So Rowboat never made everyone read the codex and break. Basically, there was never any reason why no single entity should have control of a Space Marine Legion. I mean, they're only the most terrifying fighting force ever created by man.
This is true. This is true. But yeah, so it's weird talking about the second Legion because and at some point in time, I guess we have to make a determination about the second Legion. I've got some plans for the second, but we have 2 chapters that were entirely expunged from Imperial record, right? So even though they may have existed, they were put out of their misery. They were deleted by Probably by the Inquisitors, if I'm honest.
No, there were no Inquisitors during the Great Crusade.
Yeah, but at some point in time between like before 30K, they would have had to have gotten rid of all record of it, right? Even though we have records that predate the Great Crusade.
Yeah, there's actually a division of the Administratum that is like they're essentially kill teams that their sole job is wiping stuff from wiping all records on Terra of things.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they're like they will kill all the scribes who have ever read that record.
Yeah.
They will burn entire sections of the Imperial Library that is underneath Terra because it's like the size of a continent.
Yeah, isn't it under the like cool Himalayan fortress where we keep Big E?
Yeah, it's.
I mean, I guess Big E is alive in our like revisiting of lore, but it doesn't have to be either. Like we can get rid of that guy whenever we feel like it.
We could have him. I suppose he could finish the Webway project and.
Oh, I have thoughts about that. So this is actually leads us a little bit to today's stream. We're talking about we're going to skip the second Legion for now. Not because I don't want to do them. I have plans for the second Legion and for our other missing Legion at some point. They probably aren't what most people are thinking they are.
I want to say the other missing one is the 13th.
Isn't 13 rowboat?
You know what? I have the internet in front of me. I don't know why I'm questioning this.
Yeah, exactly. I also have the internet. I even had the internet on stream for a minute there because we're going to be using the internet a little bit later on. But I wanted to start with the Third Legion. I wanted to go with Emperor's Children. I feel like there's no better part or worse part of the Emperor's Children than Fabius Bile. Fabius Bile.
He sucked even before he fell to chaos.
Oh yeah, he definitely did. He was a weird, big into like eugenics and genetic modification long before chaos ever took control of. Is he an agent of chaos though? Like I know he is associated with the Emperor's Children and with Slaanesh, but is that just like a happy circumstance for him?
He's kind of more chaos undivided.
Yeah, but the thing is that like he loves the idea of perfecting the Astartes, right? Because Big E's work was unfinished, and as much as we have big robot Spider Daddy from the Admech, whose name I'm currently forgetting, Belisarius Call. Yeah, there we go. We got there at exactly the same moment. That's why we're friends, man.
I feel like Fabius Bile and Call would actually be buddies.
Right.
In this timeline, like because it was all about perfecting the Emperor's design, which I mean, can you really? I mean, the Emperor did perfect the design. It's the Custodes, but that's their individually
crafted dudes, as opposed to like background clones. Yeah.
No, Space Marines they're not background. They're genetically altered, like en masse. But it's also like. The way like their psycho indoctrination works is like they're meant to be a brotherhood, whereas the Custodes are lone sentinels.
Yeah, I mean the gene seed process isn't exactly like vat growing clones, but growing the gene seed, which is something that Fabius Bile in real lore is very interested in. And in a lot of cases, I think that's something that I wanted to explore with this particular series. So. You can see here that I do actually have a Fabius Bile that I've put a little bit of work into. I've been removing...
It's an amazing mini.
Oh yeah, no, I love the mini. He is super weird looking. I love his like ridiculous high collar going on. I've gone through and started removing a bunch of the chaos icons off of him. And I'm going to continue to remove more of the 8-pointed stars. So you'll notice even from our little like Wookie friend here, this is just the instructions that come from GW. There we go. It's now in look at that. I've gone through. I started removing 8-pointed stars all over the place on him. I removed one of his shoulder pads and replaced it with just a regular old intercessor shoulder pad. And I'm going to keep doing that. That's going to be part of what we do tonight. But I also wanted to, I want to present the Space Marines in a scenario that we haven't really seen them in before in this diorama. So I'm also going to be producing an empty suit of Space Marine armor, as well as sort of a different weapon that we haven't seen the Space Marines choose before. So I went and found myself one of the 1,000 lieutenant Space Marine lieutenants. I think this is the most recent one, if I'm not mistaken. I wanted a dude who was carrying a power sword, so that's why it's a lieutenant. But we're gonna edit down this intercessor tonight as well, so that's gonna be part of it. Is yeah, we're gonna turn this guy from being an actual suit of armor. I've got other bits here too, so I've got some Admech dudes. I've got an intercessor sprue or two that gives me most of the intercessor parts. So we're gonna start disassembling this stuff and reassembling him. Also, if I want to stop, because I've been doing, man, I've been in a conference this week for work. And it's a lot of really heavy technical subjects, and if I just sit here staring at the screen while it's going on, I slowly go insane. And if I turn on my computer in any way, I'm off to Reddit and haven't listened to anything in the last hour by the time I tune back in, and everyone's like, okay, well, thank you there very much. That was a great presentation. I'm like, there was a presentation that happened. So I've been doing a lot of a secret project that I might show later on in the stream, because I'm just so happy with how it's going. So very happy with how it's going. But we might, if I get bored with modding and stuff, we've got some time to start thinking up paint schemes for these dudes, because yeah, I'm not entirely certain where I'm going with Emperor's Children. So that's going to be basically tonight's stream. Is going to be a lot of modding. It's going to be a lot of cutting and sanding and trying to fit tiny bits together. Where do we want to start? Let's start by cutting this intercessor off the sprue.
So the other missing legion is the 11th.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Is 13th rowboat?
13th is rowboat.
That's what I thought. I thought that rowboat was number 13. The 10th is Emperor's Fist, I want to say? No, that's not right. Emperor's Fist is 7.
Or 7.
20 is Alpha.
20 is Alpha. 19 is Raven Guard. 18 is Salamanders. 17 are the worst guys ever.
Word bearers.
Yeah, the word bearers. They're the ones who messed it all up.
Well, it's not all of them. It was one specific one of them, but yeah, that didn't happen in our universe.
It was their Primarch. He's the one who messed it all up. He got all sad because his dad got mad at him for making he basically, it's weird because Logar, he wrote the Antichrist Bible for Chaos, but he also wrote the dogmatic religious book for the Imperial religion. He wrote the book that hurts him.
Oh, I know. Hence the curse of the word bearers. I just noticed this is a new sprue, an entirely new sprue design. So this is Fabius Bile sprue. This was what, 2020? No, Fabius Bile came out in 2019. This is
2019, I think.
Yeah, this is 2021.
Ooh, all bouncy and round.
Yeah, it's round sprue, which I don't particularly like, but also I'm just, plastic feels different. Maybe it's just that it's round and shiny. I don't know. This was the guy that I think they released it, maybe 2 months ago. He hasn't been around for very long, so.
I'm not sure. Oh, I know who this is. This is actually a captain. This is a named character.
No, this isn't. No? What's his name? This isn't the Ultramarine. This is the generic. Ventress? Yeah, this isn't Ventress. This is the one that is in exactly the same pose, but isn't him. Because he was an extra
only
$5.
Contemporary Ultramarine.
Yeah, fair enough. Marion's Caligar has still got his.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna poop on Caligar. Like he's just trying to do Rowboat's good works in Rowboat's shadow. I guess I should talk a little bit about what I'm doing for technique here a little bit. These are really nice side cutters. They are not god hands. These are the Tamiya Sharp. What is it? Yeah, Tamiya Sharp Point side cutters. I use these exclusively on nice quality plastics. I got 4 or 5 sets of other ones around that I use for other stuff. That one's the one. These are the ones that I use on like wire, and you guys have seen me pin things before. They're garbage, so I treat them like garbage. These are my I don't hate you sprue, but I really don't care, and I'm going to clip you further away. The nice thing about the Tamiya ones is that I can literally, so we'll try and get this on screen. If we could get this to focus up, that'd be pretty cool. There we go. So I'm literally flat against the model. Now, there is a little bit of flashing that's left behind there, but I just want to give you guys an as example. So these are the ones that I previously called garbage. I'm going to clip a far way away. Yes, it makes a nice flat cut, but if you take a look on the bottom, it is absolutely flat. There's like a tiny little bit of flashing there. This thing is like mushed and squished everything and turned it into a different shape. No es bueno. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the blade on my X-Acto. I just use, I think I've talked about this before, I just use cheap number 11s for blades because I don't care. I can buy 1,000 of them from a Chinese factory for like $4. Yep, they might lose their edge right away. They might rust over in a week. Doesn't matter to me even the slightest amount because they're like pennies per blade rather than paying significantly more than that for ones that last marginally longer for me. So maybe I'm just really hard on razor blades.
No, I am too. I don't buy. I buy expensive knives to begin with, and then I buy garbage blades because I don't want to pay good money for a blade that I'm probably going to break within the first week.
Yeah, I mean, I use the blades in all sorts of ways that are not advised. I will poke things like I don't have a gun barrel. Okay, so no, let's actually find a gun barrel. Here we go. Oh, I already drilled out his gun barrel on this dude. I will literally go in with the tip of the knife and just like poke my center hole and widen it with the tip of the knife. With cheap knives, that immediately means like even this one, even in a hole that was already open, I've already broken the tip off this knife. That is the price you pay with cheap knives. They flake. They're immediately useless. Right now, what I'm wanting to do, I guess I should explain my process here a little bit. I want to get this thing cleaned up and partially assembled, and then I'm going to go through and we're going to chop out some of the soft bits on the uniform, or sorry, on the power armor, and parts that are either obscured because, like you can see on this guy, I like the shape of the shin pads in comparison, but I might take, now that I'm looking at this guy, I was like, well, I guess I can get most of these parts. The parts that I really wanted is I like the belt and the tabard? Is that a tabard, man? We call that a tabard?
That is not a tabard. What the Black Templar wear is a tabard.
Oh, okay.
I can't. There's an actual name for it. It's like it hung off the front of like the Roman belt.
Yeah, and I was trying to remember what it's actually called, but neither here nor there.
There's an actual name I don't remember. I do. At one point, I knew it because probably relevant reasons at the time, which were probably just I thought it was cool and I wanted to know.
That's fair. But yeah, I wanted that part. I want to keep probably. I want the front of this chest piece out of this model, and I really wanted to keep the shoulder pads or the shoulder pad, and I like the hilt of this sword, though I'm going to do some stuff with the rest of it. Other than that, I think I can make a lot of this guy out of other intercessor pieces. I don't know about keeping the iron halo on there either. Probably won't. But because so much of this is just hidden behind other details and stuff, so like where I've got whatever we're gonna call this, his fancy belt.
His fancy belt.
Where his fancy belt goes in front of like the knee pads and stuff like that. That's all stuff that I can deal with in other ways. I can create more of the belt by just stealing it from other intercessors that I've got here that don't have quite as much detail already glued to them. I was gonna have my 3D printed stuff here today, but I've been having a bad 3D printing day today. I have tried to get these prints off like 4 times today, and no es bueno. So it's just going to be a thing that we have to deal with today. But yeah, so let's what the overall thing that we're making here is I've got an Astartes that I've modeled or had purchased a model of an intercessor, and we're going to be having Fabius Bile definitely contemplating his having generated a cool looking Space Marine body, like an Astartes body, and we're gonna take that, put it in a vat, have it, make it look like Fabius Bile is overseeing his transformation from regular old soldier into crazy super soldier, if that makes sense. So we've got some modeling challenges ahead of us, and we're gonna have to fully paint that our Astartes and then dip him in goo, because I assume that becoming an Astartes involves a lot of goo.
Yeah, Fabius Bile, like, just having read like some of the, I'm gonna say it for all those who enjoy most Warhammer fiction, you are wrong. It is objectively bad. There is maybe a handful of actually really good ones out there. One of the ones I read that was not really good was a Blood Angels one, and I read it because it was the newest one in the series, and I read the previous 3, and I kind of felt obligated.
Fair enough. Series completion is important.
Fabius Bile makes a complete fool of the Blood Angels in all of their successor chapters. Like, sneaks in, like, under the guise of, like, Adeptus Mechanicus Magos biologist, essentially. Because the AdMech is not just all about machine parts, they're about all science, every science.
Especially when they can get themselves a standard construction. Anyway, we'll get to that in a bit.
So they're either like, oh, like, why are you so big? He's like, oh, I just love Space Marines so much, I tried to emulate how to become one as best I could, like, oh, just to honor you so I can better, like, serve the Imperium and the Emperor's greatest warriors. They're all like, oh, shucks, that's real swell, guy. And I was like, you guys are all dumb. Dante, you should know more than this. You're literally 1,200 years old.
No, Dante isn't 1,200 years old. He's 12,000 years old.
Dante's not that old.
Dante was around in the 30K. Oh, I guess it depends on what time period this was.
There was 41st.
Yeah, so
now we're into the 42nd.
Yeah, so like at least 11,000 years, probably less than 12,500.
No, because the longest living Space Marine from that time is still Bjorn Fellhand.
Is he, or is he the longest surviving space wolf?
Longest surviving Astartes.
Neat.
Bjorn. Well, I mean, surviving. He's in a dreadnought, but he's still technically alive. He's just mostly a torso.
Yeah, but here's is the Emperor alive? Like,
no, the Emperor is a rotting corpse that they say is alive.
Listen, they give him 1,000 Psyker Souls a day so that he can continue to lead the Imperium to glory, and anything less than that is heresy. The Inquisitors are coming for you. So I'm gonna make some legs here. I got a couple of legs where I've got lots of clear space. I may not use these thighs. I may keep these thighs. Depends how I feel in a minute here when I start chopping. So, yeah, they are different plastic. This plastic is much shinier. So it doesn't feel that it's that much, like, there's no difference in rigidity. Now I am interested.
To Lexicanum, Dante is 1,100 years old. Over 1,100 years old.
But he was around in 30k, and it's now 40k.
He wasn't around in 30k, though.
I thought he was Chapter Master Dante.
Dude, he is Chapter Master Dante, but he's the current Chapter Master.
Yeah, I thought he was, if he was around in 30k, and it's currently 40k. Simple math says that is 11,000 years.
He wasn't around in 30k, though.
I thought he was.
No, there is a Dante in in one of the Blood Angels books, but he's not the same guy.
Well, that's just silly.
Because he does take a plasma bolt to the chest.
Marines have survived worse than that.
Dante is the oldest living chapter master currently. He's held the position for 800 years, but he's roughly somewhere, I'd say, from judging from what Lexicanum is saying, between 1100 and 1350.
Huh.
He's still old. Like most space, like Calgar is only like 600.
See, and again, Calgar is one of the ones that I thought was alive during the heresy, so... Well, now I'm way less impressed by Space Marines. Let's never model one again. Just so you guys are keeping up with what I'm doing on the model, I'm just removing some mold lines here on these. They're not really greaves. They're kind of greaves. Booty plates.
I would call that that's essentially a greave. It protects the shin and the top of the foot.
Sure, why not? Power greaves. Space greaves?
Space power greaves.
Space power greaves. But yeah, I'm just running the flat of the knife along the model. We can keep talking about how old people are in fiction.
So the first Blood Angels chapter master after the death of Sanguinius is Belisarius. Not Belisarius Call, just a dude named Belisarius.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Belisarius Call, I'm pretty sure was a part of the AD during the.
I don't quite.
I don't know. I'm not huge into lore. We're learning lore as we go here. All I remember is that the space or Fabius Bile seems like the sort of dude who would have been really into like the improvement and the perfection, rather, of the Astartes. And I feel like if he hadn't had, you know, say some chaotic influence, he would probably still have been a part of the Imperium. I feel like he is the Emperor's Children's cipher.
He was a part of, at least in like the Fulgrim book, he is the part of Fulgrim's inner sanctum. Like, Emperor does get pretty mad at Fulgrim for messing with the Space Marine stuff. He's like, the Emperor's like, you don't fully understand what it took to do these. Like, it's a very like measured process for a reason, because one misstep and you create a monster instead of a hero.
And I'm pretty sure that Fabius Bile's response to that was like, but what if they were fabulous monsters?
Yeah, like basically Fulgrim's like, okay, Dad, we'll stop. And then he's like, yes, keep going.
Make them very pretty. We need the prettiest things in the entire galaxy.
Back Carabel, so these guys need to be able to wail.
Oh yeah. For those of you
have you read that book?
No.
Oh man, the fall of the Emperor's Children. Definitely true what they say. Like, held to the highest pedestal and fell the furthest. Like
that's fair. I know that Fulgrim was literally Big E's favorite, and he wasn't like hiding it. He was like, you know what, Horace, I'm pretty cool with you because you're good at war, but this guy over here is so pretty that I am going to just love him more than the rest of you combined.
Except
and all of his brothers.
Sanguinius actually was the one most admired by the rest of the Primarchs, I guess.
Yeah,
because
Sanguinius was the one that all the Primarchs loved. Fulgrim was the one that the Emperor loved. Also Horus.
Fulgrim's a bootlicker.
Well, I guess that's better compared to what some of his children did. Bootlicking versus genocide. Let's talk about the like atrocities of the Primarchs.
I mean, like, Fulgrim did also like was privy. There's in the book he is privy to the extermination of a race of aliens. I mean, so are the Blood Angels and also
The Dark Angels also.
no, it was for this one it was the Luna Wolves, who were as of yet to be called the Sons of Horus, even though the Emperor told Horus to be like, rename them the Sons of Horus because you guys are just so darn good at your jobs. And he's like, nope, that smacks of hubris to me, Daddy. And then later on, he's like, hubris is the best stuff ever.
Did you notice how I'm the War Master and literally the greatest in the entire universe?
Yeah, and then he's like, wait. Sanguinius is still the best of us. Because he was. Sanguinius was amazing. His 30k book was...
Yeah,
really
but Sanguinius is like not quite as much of a Mary Sue as Rabute Gulaman, but like all of his brothers loved him and everybody wanted to be him because he was an angel of hope and light. I don't know.
Yeah, he was like, yeah. I enjoy.
Don't get me wrong,
Angels.
like
I think they're cool, even though they're just buff vampires.
the Chaos Primarchs may not be good dudes, but I actually happen to like all of the Chaos Primarchs more than any of the Imperial Primarchs.
I can go on both ways of this. Like there's some of the Chaos Primarchs I really enjoy, and others I can't stand. And there's
Mortarion's the worst of them, and he is just a whiny runt the entire time. But like
I even like Perturbo and his like I became a demon prince, so then I turned myself into like the first demon engine, and I never leave my planet because I'm mad at myself for screwing it all up. That's literally he's just sitting there on this planet that's made entirely of metal, and he's pouting. He's been pouting for 10,000 years.
That seems like an appropriate reaction.
Yeah,
like none of them are well adjusted.
No, I quite enjoy Angron. I think he has the saddest origin story out of all of them. I'm like if the Emperor had brought him into the fold differently instead of kidnapping him and getting his what he considered his family massacred, Angron probably would not have sided with Horus.
Oh yeah, no, there is stories like that for all of them. Like I don't think that maybe Magnus falls either way.
Yeah, I can see
Magnus just messes around with sorcery so much that he eventually falls because he's just messed around with sorcery so much that he's like eventually the warp's like, dude, you touched me in an inappropriate place, so now I'm coming for you. And he's like, oop. I have a feeling that word bearers, what's his name? Logar falls either way, mostly because I think that he is the most, not that he isn't sympathetic and not that he doesn't have like he is a religious zealot, right? Like that is his crime and his punishment fits. But I also think that at some point in time, just like Magnus, he pokes around with I don't want to, in his case it's not magic, but I think that he pokes around with zealotry enough that eventually like even if it's 10,000 years later, he falls because of Zeech. Because the Emperor is still making the webway, because there are still psychers around, because, you know, the night is dark and full of terrors. Eventually, at some point in time, Zeech is like, I can manipulate this moron who thinks that he is, like, winning the war through zealotry. Because there's nothing easier to manipulate than somebody who is unthinking and unquestioning in their value. of things. So I feel like he is a prime candidate to get Zeeched.
Yeah. Magnus kind of got Zeech on it was almost like a coin flip by the Chaos Gods, because I mean the reason why they told Horus to change the message to Lehman Russ was because they were scared of Magnus. Because they're like, if he doesn't fall, like he's almost as powerful psychically as the Emperor, and that's a real bad time. And he knows the ways on basically not how to banish us to the warp, but to obliterate their essence and get rid of them forever.
Oh yeah, they are just evaporated from the warp. That is possibly the coolest part of Magnus's story, is the not only are demons real, but I can get rid of them entirely, Daddy. And then Daddy is like, don't do that. Stop being cool. And he's like, but I love you. And the Emperor's like, shut up. The Council of Nicaea is happening, and I'm going to side with Mortarion because he's bad at magic. So you have to also be bad at magic. Sorry, Mortarion is afraid of magic because he came from a place where sorcerers were a thing. Sorry, were they necromancers?
Alien space sorcerers of some sort.
No, I thought that the humans on the planet that he lived on were all like, we love sorcery so much. Look at how cool we are with our sorcery and stuff. And he was like, I don't do sorcery, so I'm mad at you. Also, I took over your planet. These are the Dusk Raiders. We're gonna just show up on your doorstep and murder a lot of you all of the time. Maybe I'm conflating that story because I do
a little bit, because he was there before the Dusk Raiders were.
No, I know, but he he made his own company before of slaves and whatnot, whatever the lower caste on that planet was, because they all have to start off in some sort of lower caste existence. And then Mortarion's like, I got all these guys together and we're here to mess up these sorcerers or necromancers, and I don't remember which, probably both.
They are necromancers. They were called the Overlords. They are some sort of alien.
Oh, I thought they were humanoid. Maybe I just read that part of the...
They are like a humanoid alien, but they are alien.
Oh, okay.
But they were necromantic, so they lived in the poison-free...
Yeah, they lived on top of a hill and were like, all of you guys suck, go down and die in poison. Which is why Mortarion was all like...
the humans lived in the bottom of valleys where there was no poison.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird poison that doesn't go to the lowest spot, but hangs out up high.
Sure, why not? That totally makes sense according to physics.
Yeah. He did form his own army and led a rebellion that drove the overlords off of Barbarous.
That was the name of the planet. I couldn't remember it there for a bit.
It's one of the better planet names for Space Marines.
Oh yeah, it's not like The Rock, but I
mean, The Rock is called Caliban.
It is The Rock.
I mean, it's The Rock now, because that's all that's left.
This is true. And even in our retelling of lore, it's still called The Rock, because we decided that we still needed a dead Primar.
Yeah, and kind of the only thing the Dark Angels really have going for them is that part of them fell. Other than that, there's not really a lot that's...
Cypher's cool.
Cypher's cool, and it was
may
cool
or may not be a Dark Angel.
They were the first Legion, and nicknamed the Uncrowned Princes and all that.
Oh yeah,
but I have found a little bit of a new spot for the Dark Angels. They're still heretics in current 40k timeline. They are still heretics. No one will ever change my mind.
That's fair. I'm not here to change your mind.
I will wash my Space Wolves when the Dark Angels wash the stain from their honor.
Oof. Gross. Your Space Wolves probably smell bad.
Oh, probably. I mean, the Space Wolves are barbarians. That's
another reason why Magnus did nothing wrong. Because, seriously?
Yeah, well, the Space Wolves were created for a reason. The same with the Salamanders.
Oh, totally fair.
They were, and I also think it might be the Blood Angels as well that were the Emperor's considered the Emperor's monstrous legions.
We looked this up last time you and I were on stream together.
Yes.
But one way or the other, continuing, I got a little thigh piece that I'm actually pretty happy with the shape of it. So first things first, we're going to clean these up and turn them into real shapes. So like first steps here is removing segments from one another, removing the like undersuit parts that we're not going to be using, just because that makes sense. When I am doing this, and I'm sorry if it's not all coming across super clear, but just tiny little shavings with the knife. This is why I'm using a nice strong blade, or sorry, a nice new blade this evening, because I do need to make some pretty delicate cuts. The sharper your blade is, and I know that this, if you're not super into modeling, this seems counterintuitive. You want your blade to be absolutely as sharp as you can possibly get it. So if that means pulling a fresh one out of the pack, do it, because dull blades make you cut yourself, because you're going to put too much force on the knife to get it to slide through the plastic, and that is where bad times happen. Like I've worked in professional kitchens, and yeah, every knife accident I've ever been around, sorry, not every knife accident, I mean people cut themselves constantly, but like the worst knife accidents I've been around have always been with unsharpened knives and just people having to force things. So if you can, grab new knife blades when you go to start doing modding projects like this, just for your own safety, so that I feel better about you. Just grab a nice sharp blade. But we are talking about the Emperor's Children tonight, and I feel like we haven't really talked a whole lot about where they are actually at in 40k, or what happened to them to get them to where they're at in current 40k lore. I mean, they do have my single favorite unit in the game right now. If I had to rate all of the current Chaos Space Marines, not just based off of models, but also based off of like the concept of them, I would have to give it to the Noise Marines, because the weird Slaneshi hair metal band Marines that just use the loudest sounds in the universe to bludgeon their enemies to death is metal as heck. Like, I love it. It is such a silly, like, it's not silly. I've had a lot of friends hit with LRADs in the last couple of years. You know who you are if you're watching. I don't want to call you out on here, but I've had enough of my friends hit with LRADs and whatnot to know that sonic weapons are a real deal, and don't mess with them because it sucks. But also, the idea of weaponizing that in combat is hilarious to me, because from what I can tell of combat, having shot lots of weapons in my days, it's already pretty loud. So to go in there and be the loudest thing around and be like, this is how we're gonna win, I love it. I love it more than sorcerers. I love it more than stink factories. God, I love the Noise Marines. I love them so much. I wish that we had gotten an entire set of Noise Marines when we got that like one special one-off from GW. But man,
you can still get the Noise Marine.
Yeah, you can get the Sonic upgrade. Like, you can get the upgrade pack that takes you from the old school monopose 30k Chaos Marines, slap some resin on them, and you get yourself some. So you have to buy the old resin Mark III armor Space Marines. So this is the 30k.
They were in 5th edition. They came out in 5th edition because they came out at the same time as the Iron Warriors booster pack came out. Yeah,
but you have to go and buy an entire box of Chaos Marines, and the old Chaos Marines, not the new ones. Like, you can't go and buy the 40k Marines and have that set fit on it anymore, because the proportions changed, right? Like, when they got Primaris last year and the year before, like 2019, 2020, when they all went across the Rubicon Primaris, even though they aren't technically Primaris Marines, they got the new scale and stuff applied to them. The old bits box doesn't work with it, so you have to go back and buy the Forge World box of Mark III and Mark IV Marines, if I remember correctly, and use it on there. So you have to use resin add-ons on resin models for, you know, something that you're like, you can't even go to a GW store and grab the Sonic Sonic weapon upgrade. You have to order it from Forge World or have one of the extended stockists, which we're fortunate enough to have those in Calgary. Like, we got Sentry Box will basically, when they do their Forge World orders, we'll bring them in for you. So that's super nice. But yeah, it sucks that
You can still get the Sonic weapons from GW. You just have to order it off the site.
yeah, but they are Forge World upgrades.
No, these ones aren't. They're from GW. They're the gray plastic that all the GW.
Oh, I'm thinking of the heavy weapons upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, yeah, there is the other upgrade sprue that is. Yeah.
There's the Forge World's Noise Marine upgrade sprue, though. You are correct on. But there was one for done in 5th edition when they gave some of the other Chaos Legions more love. So that was when you started seeing.
Well, that was the last time we got Berserkers too.
No, the Berserkers are from like 3rd or 4th. They're old.
I thought we got the Khorne Berserkers came out with the what is it? The Devastator engine or whatever it is. The giant stupid chaos looking thing that is like half a robot and half a giant tank.
No, he's actually relatively new.
Oh, really? He looks real dumb.
Yeah, he's super dumb. I've seen it where people buy or have 3D printed legs for him. He looks way better. Oh my god, it looks so much better. But because he's not a chaos tank centaur.
I love that we are just centauring everything now. At any rate, yeah, I honestly, the like one that they released, I feel like that was like the end of 2019. Maybe it was the end of 2018. I don't know. What is time anyway? But that one Noise Marine that they gave us is so cool. But so talking about the Emperor's Children, the Noise Marines are the like special weapons or the special infantry of the world that was, right? Of 30k and 40k, more so like 40k with the Noise Marines, because it was after they fell that they started doing the whole Noise Marine thing. But so the Emperor's Children, have you looked up the lore for how and why they fell? Adam? Yeah,
I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my voice connection just went like hit red. That's why.
Oh, nice.
They actually did have the beginnings of Noise Marines and like the Sonic Scream that some of them can do.
Yeah.
That was actually coming in before the heresy even started.
See, but I feel that was a part of the Chaos Taint, right?
It was before Fulgrim even got the sword.
Oh, neat. All right.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell us a tale of how the Emperor's Children fell?
Oh, it's not the darkest. It is certainly the creepiest one, though.
I mean, why don't we where do you want to start from? Because
I could start right from when Fulgrim gets the sword.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to start too, because Fulgrim getting a sword that turns him insane is great.
Yeah, so it was actually earlier I mentioned how like the Emperor's Children, the Blood Angels, and the Luna Wolves had done a genocide against this one alien race. So then this alien race was actually trapped on a planet. And the Crusade, being the Great Crusade, they just kind of were like, hey, that's a planet full of aliens, purge it. And then the Blood Angels were the first one to find it. They completely butchered it. The one guy, like the captain, I don't know how he got such a high rank for being so tactically and strategically stupid. He's like, oh man, my guys keep dying. I'm just going to funnel them all down until I have nothing left, including my Imperial Army assets. Yeah, and then the Luna Wolves showed up, and we're like, the Luna Wolves and a task force of Luna Wolves and Emperor's Children showed up, which later brought in Horus, and then Sanguinius showed up with the rest of the Blood Angels. He was responding to the distress call, and yeah, we
also get to hop around with my favorite part of the Horus Heresy, which, but anyway, what's the duelist's name? The Emperor's Children duelist.
His name is on the tip of my tongue, and I'm totally gapping on it.
Yeah, I know. Same here.
Loken broke his nose in the practice cages. That was one of the best scenes to read. I love that scene so much.
At any rate, one of my favorites. Lucius, there we go. Yeah.
Lucius the Eternal. His power is awesome.
Yeah, man. At any rate, so genocide committed. What happens next?
Genocide committed. So then they get contacted by this very advanced human race called the Interrex.
Okay.
Those in the know about where Cerberus and Logar got the Anthema knife that corrupted Horus. Anathema.
Yeah.
When they got that knife, it was from the Interrex. They're actually, Cerberus is the reason that the Interrex was purged. They were fully ready to join and share their much more advanced technology with the rest of the Imperium, as long as they were guaranteed some semblance of self-governing.
Yep.
And then, randomly out of nowhere, also, they had Centaur troops?
Yeah, they had actual, legit Centaur troops. I always imagined them as half deer, half person, but maybe that's just, me imagining things.
But, it was their version of power armor was just you ride in a robotic horse.
Yep.
It was super cool. They shot energy bows that would just blow up a single space marine with one hit. They were cool. I really enjoyed the Interrex parts. This is another reason why I don't like Cerberus, Logar, or the Word Bearers, because there was not a single good one in the mix.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so this is also the place where Fulgrim gets the sword.
Yeah, so what is special or weird about this sword? Why are we talking so much about a sword?
It is a daemon sword. It is the spirit of a greater demon or daemon. I guess technically it's daemon. That is how it's spelled. A greater daemon of Slanesh was trapped within the blade and used Fulgrim's thirst for perfection and finding experiencing all walks of life to slowly corrupt it. And by slowly I mean it wasn't subtle.
No, it was not.
Yeah, even some of his senior, he started icing out some of it. The corruption also kind of spread around him at the same time. It got Edion or Ediolon. I can't remember his name. He's the worst though. He's such a douche.
I mean, such can be said of many of the Astartes.
It's true. But guys like Solomon and Saul Tarvitz were something is changing with the Primarch. This is, you guys don't notice this, how he's just suddenly using this weird alien sword all the time and completely is being all brooding and moody like Angron and Leman Russ and not being Fulgrim anymore.
Are super happy, the prettiest man ever in existence, except for Sanguinius.
Yeah. You guys are all just cool with this happening. You're not going to mention anything. Oh, we're going to mention it. Now we're getting iced out. Oh, you sent us down to invest in 5. Oh, it's the purge.
Oh, oops, we dead.
Yeah. So not only did the corruption spread, they were, yes, the Word Bearers were the first to adopt chaos. Yes, Horus and the Sons of Horus, later to become the Black Legion, were the driving force behind the heresy and all of that. But the Emperor's Children were the first to fall. And they fell hard and fast like a meteor. They literally Thelma and Louise it off into the Grand Canyon with this fall from grace.
Oh yeah, it was not like a subtle or like you're pretty apt with the Thelma and Louise off a cliff because like part of the makeup of the Emperor's Children prior to like them falling was everybody in the chapter wanted to be perfect in all things at all times, right? So whether it was a perfection of in Lucius's case, he was a perfect sword fighter, but he also wanted to be like a warrior poet, basically. Like he really wanted to explore like all of the like gifts that were given to him by being in Astartes, but also was like constantly thirsting to perfect them for more. Fabius Bile is another great example of like the ideals and ideology of the Emperor's Children going way too far. Like he wasn't satisfied with being in Astartes. He needed to be the greatest expression of the human genome, like beyond the Emperor's like expression of humanity. And and that was part of what led them to the fall, is that all of them suddenly saw a way to become perfect, even though they had been striving their entire lives as Astartes to perfection, right? Like they had already achieved so much. And as soon as that blade shows up, like it's not well told in the stories, but as soon as the blade shows up, they're all like, oh, I can shortcut my way to being way cooler. And that's what they all start doing. Like they immediately... Sorry.
The scary thing about the sword is because it's a greater daemon. Like, this is one step below the god Slanesh itself. And like its corrupting influence doesn't just spread to Fulgrim, like it spread throughout the entire Legion and the Imperial Army detachments that are with part of the Emperor's Children Crusade fleet. Even the Remembrancers, because like the Remembrancers, they're all artists and poets and writers and journalists, like painters, sculptors. That's what their job was, to create physical history.
Yeah, they were creating like the culture of the Great Crusade, not like you know, the same reason why you have like Michelangelo like painting the Reformation and stuff, like, or not the Reformation, but why you have like religious sculptors and stuff like that painting all this religious idolatry. That's what the Remembrancers were out there doing, right?
Yeah. And like it culminates, at least in the 30K Fulgrim book. If you want to read it, Steve, I can lend it to you. I've got a copy. It was really, really disturbing, like, way they felt, because their thing now, like, they're not, I guess not now, but like in current 40K, not our project,
not Project Never Fallen.
Not Project Never Fallen. They are all about excess. Everything in excess. Pain, pleasure, nausea, diarrhea, foot cramps, all of it.
Ugh.
The max, the most, all at once that they can handle. All the time. And they're Space Marines, so they can handle a lot.
Which is probably why Slanesh was like super into it, because she's like, she is like, oh man, I have never seen a being that wants to go this hard and can just do it. Right? Yeah, like if there was a way to celebrate Slanesh.
Willie Nelson.
Oh yeah. Like it is insane to think what an Astartes, like if they are, you know, like the lore accurate version of the Astartes would be able to just give her in a way that no other human being could ever do, right? So it's neat that is where they ended up and how they ended up there. I really do appreciate the story.
They basically had a concert where everyone who didn't believe was just like all the normal humans who weren't towing in the new line got sacrificed. And like this is where a lot of the skin stretching and stuff first appeared on like the heretic Astartes.
Neat.
Yeah, and like they were using sonic weaponry at the drop site massacre. Huh. Like they were, you know, adorned in the skin of their victims. And like at this point, Lucius went from being like super handsome bro to carving strange patterns in his face.
Neat. And by neat, I mean disturbing, possibly. Yeah. I mean, hey, we have plenty of cultures on Earth that did like body modification and self-scarification and all the automutilation and stuff like that as a part of like ritual belonging, right? Like belonging rituals, that sort of stuff. Like that is not unheard of. Yeah, but that is not what is going on in like the Slaneshi pleasure party. I'm gonna put that in air quotes.
He was cutting himself in ways because it felt cool.
Yeah,
and those the patterns he cut in just seemed to make sense. They made sense because he was being corrupted by chaos.
Oh yeah, no, he was drawing like runic. Wasn't it for like demonic possession or something like that? Like he was drawing runes into himself so that like he could be possessed by a lesser demon.
No, he actually, from what I know of Lucius, he was connecting old battle scars.
Huh.
And then they just started to turn this pattern, and then like the non-canon theory is that that pattern is actually like the chaos ruin spell that makes him the eternal, so that if you take one moment of pride in defeating him,
yeah,
you become him. His soul is reborn in your body, and like not just like he's like, oh, he's driving your body. No, your body becomes him, power armor and weapon and all. And then your soul is therefore then trapped inside of his armor for all eternity.
Sorry, I'm getting requests from my actual job.
No problem.
Because it's the middle of the night, so of course middle of the night their time.
Yeah. Another cool theory I have, I think the only person who can beat Lucius and actually like defeat him would be Lucas the Trickster.
Really?
He would die. He would die. But the way he wins is the fact that he has a stasis bomb instead of a second heart. So when he dies, it goes off and they'd be trapped in that death dance forever.
Fair enough, but once he's dead, if it's a dead man switch, he's not allowed to take pride in the like having murdered somebody, I think.
Yeah, but the way he would defeat Lucius is that he traps Lucius forever in a stasis field with his dead body.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, because I was talking about it with Sean, and unfortunately Sean won't be joining us because he's working till 9.
That happens.
We've theorized this and gone over different like who could beat him. I also, having read some more of the Carcharodon's books, I'm pretty sure the main character, I can't quite remember his name right now, and I feel bad because he's a really cool character. He would probably be able to defeat Lucius and not take pride in it.
What about just forgive my ignorance on here. So when the Black Rage is on the Blood Angels, right?
Yep. So
one of their brothers dies. The only things that they feel is rage short about the death of Sanguinius, right?
Yeah, they are all fighting. They're all Sanguinius fighting Horus in the Black Rage.
Yeah. Okay. So if that happens, Sanguinius, whatever.
Sanguininus?
Sanguininus.
Let's just call him the Angel.
Angel Boy defeats Devil Dude, right?
Yeah.
If that happens, Sanguininus is just going to be sad that he had to kill his brother, right? Because that's what he's feeling during the fight with him and the Emperor, or at least what these purported to be fighting, right?
It would just be see the way like he didn't.
So does Black Rage just maybe you can theory craft this while I look through my file system, because I need to find some stuff for work here. And I'm sorry, everybody. It's going to be like a slow few minutes while this happens. Would a brother fully in the throes of the Black Rage? So I'm talking about like way far into the like gone over the edge era of like blood angels, because he can't feel anything except for what Sanguinius would have felt at the end when he's fighting Horus.
Sanguinius would have been absolutely heartbroken because Horus was his closest brother.
Right? So in that case, he would not feel pride in having
that is another one. Yeah,
I'm just
I'm totally on board. Like a blood angel who's fallen to the Black Rage and is fighting as a member of the Death Company would not feel joy at killing Lucius, because he would be seeing Lucius as Horus, and he would see himself as the angel boy.
Sanguininus. Blood dude.
Blood dude. Old blood dude with the S name.
Old blood dude with the S name.
Yeah, he would be absolutely heartbroken. So yeah, I'm fully on board with that idea. I also just came up with another one, the Wolfen.
Oh yeah, because the Wolfen only ever feel basically wolf feelings, and I don't think that wolf feelings are pride.
Yeah.
You know what? Nope. Owning two tiny wolves, they definitely feel pride.
That's true.
I have seen that look on.
They're like berserker rage werewolves, though.
Fair. I mean, they are channeling that part of it.
Yeah. I also don't know how cognitive they are. I don't believe in Wolfen, like, because once the space wolf becomes a wolf and that's it, they're Wolfen forever. It's not like, they stop fighting and they change back.
Yeah, no. They
basically lose all higher brain function and just become baseless.
Yeah, sorry. I am again trying to do work because this is the life of somebody who makes their own hours. Is sometimes you make clients' hours instead of your own. I apologize, everybody. It'll be over soon. What do they want from me? Sorry, I'm getting... As I said, I've been in a conference all week. I did the digital asset design for the conference, and they're now putting together other things that weren't originally on the list and are asking me to turn over all my source files. And first of all, I don't like doing that. And secondly, it's late at night. Like, it's the person who's asking me is in Atlantic time, so clearly this is some sort of emergency. Otherwise, she wouldn't be talking to me. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that, and then I will get back to that at 6 in the morning. I'm sorry, everybody. You guys are more important to me than my actual job that pays me real money. You're not, but I love you anyway. I love you more than that job. Does that make it better? I love you more than the job that pays me real money to do things. Oh boy. Okay, I am back. I'm going to start working on this head. So first things first, just like we did with the legs and stuff, I'm just going to go through and clean up some of the soft bits, and then I'll probably go grab my drill. I might not do that on stream, but what I'm going to do with all this stuff is I'm going to drill holes in it. So I'm going to use a smaller pilot hole drill by hand probably, and then I will actually go grab my actual drill and like use the largest drill I can that's not going to cause a problem for this. Moving up incrementally with any plastic, especially with GW plastic, it tends to be sturdy, but not it's not like resistance to being expanded by a drill. So it's always a good idea. I try to move up, like I've got a 64th of an inch set and a metric by 0.5 millimeter set. I tend to move up by the millimeter or by the 32nd of an inch when I'm moving through drill bits. It tends to go better. I've done things with like gun barrels and stuff where I've moved up too rapidly, and it does the thing where it expands the plastic gets all white and whatnot, and then it's no longer the shape that it was when you started, and sad times ensue. But let's continue to clean up this thing while we talk about. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is there are a variety, especially in the 30/40K transition, there are a variety of uniforms / armor colors that the Emperor's Children undergo.
Yeah, their final one before the fall was purple and gold.
Yeah, and then there is also purple, white, and gold, which is also surprisingly, I believe, a canon color scheme for them as well.
Yeah,
rather,
actually, it was purple, white, and gold at the end of the Heresy too. It was more. The other Space Marines joked that their armor was more gold than any other color.
which, if you look at any of the Primarchs, all of them are maybe. There's not many of them that were like, I'm not really into the gold thing. Like even what's his name? Sad boy terrorist. Conrad Curse has gold on his uniform. Like all the Primarchs seem to be pretty into the whole gold thing.
I'm not sure if it's happening for anyone else, but the Twitch stream seems to be being weird.
That may have just been because I was sorting through files and stuff.
Oh, okay, yep. Oh.
There was a period of time where things probably went a little nuts. I don't know how long the delay is on Twitch, so.
Because currently it says it's offline.
Neat. I don't think I'm offline on Twitch. Let's take a look. Hey there, Twitch manager. No, it says I'm online.
Like literally just as I'm gonna go check, it's like, oh, I better turn back on. Steve's gonna look. Yeah, I can't remember what their color was before Fulgrim.
Yeah, I don't think. Okay, so there's an armor change where it is full purple and then it's purple and white. There is everybody except for the Dark Angels also went through the like natural armor color stages, so where there are like grays or metals of some sort.
Yeah.
The Dark Angels always, well, they're always dark, so they started off in black armor because they started off before there was.
I mean, technically
there was an Imperium, so.
Yeah, well, they were like the Dark Angels have been around since the birth of the Imperium.
Yeah, so
as they were just like slowly brought in like the rest of the early legions. They were fully formed before anyone else. There was a full 10,000 of them.
And then there was a lot fewer because bad things happened to good people, and by good people I mean the Astartes. I don't know. Plot.
Yeah, those dudes got the poop end of the stick.
Yep. But the Emperor's Children, obviously, after the fall, get their now maybe infamous hot pink uniform, the hot pink power armor. Even though I don't think that it is as hot a pink in GW's estimation as I think it should be if you're going to go with hot pink armor. Gotta say that.
I do have an Emperor's Children that I built and kitbashed and painted.
Mm-hmm.
And painted based off of the description of an Emperor's Children Space Marine from the first Eisenhorn book, Xenos.
Yeah.
Which was just a smattering of colors of all shades and variety, just thrown on the armor, like no rhyme or reason. So it was probably the longest I've ever spent painting a mini because I kept having to clean my brush and switch colors every few like slashes.
That's fair. I feel like it really depends on what your aesthetic you're going for with the army too, because I really love and I don't know who painted the box art for, and I wish I did. I actually should message some of the people on the team, some of the people on the heavy metal team, that is, because whoever painted that particular Space Marine did the Noise Marine box art is incredible. It is just a kaleidoscope of colors and animal patterns, which immediately makes me think of hair metal bands / Kraven the Hunter for some reason. Even though I know that Kraven's not nearly as decorated as those dudes are.
He wears a lion head.
Sometimes the lion head also shoots lasers out of its eyes. we don't need to talk about Kraven the Hunter now because I have all sorts of opinions, and the fact that he's getting a movie is hilarious and ridiculous. You know what we should do, though?
No, there's so many other characters that deserve movies, not him.
They're doing Sinister Six, so they wanted him as a part of it. At any rate, you know what we should do?
That makes more sense.
We should do the news.
We are so overdue for the news. One thing I did notice is that we are...
Oh, in the... Yeah, I'll update them in the description.
Gotta pull up my
Oh,
doc, because that's got all my news notes. By news notes, just a link so I can actually read the stuff too. This one I was really excited for, the Project Vienna one.
yeah. I don't feel like there is enough games about the Cold War that aren't the dumb parts of the Cold War, for lack of a better term. Go ahead and explain what the Vienna Connection's about.
So it is like a tabletop board, like a board game.
Mm-hmm.
It's episodic, which is kind of cool. It is a 1 to 5 player story driven game. You command the spies. The actual like soldiers of the Cold War were the spies.
What? But there was actual... Yeah, no, you're completely correct.
Yeah. So you play basically members of the CIA, a SAD team, Special Activities Division. So you're the wet work specialist. You're the actual spies. You're not the analysts or anything like that. You're not. It's not. I wouldn't don't expect like little miniature spies and stuff. Like it is just tokens. But it looks like you get like dossiers. Apparently, if you subscribe to a big enough one, you get like a sweet looking spy pen.
Neat. I am interested. This feels like there was a video game that they touted in. This would have been like maybe 2000, maybe 1999, where it wasn't just a video game, and the name of it is escaping me as I slowly try and rub my forehead to like hope that it brings it back in to my mind. But there was a video game where it would like call and text message you and send you emails and stuff, like a very interactive game. And I do love the like interaction heavy board games. I know that there's not a whole lot of like replayability in these cases, but still pretty cool.
It does say like it does take quite a long time. Like it is more of a narrative one, so be prepared for a lot of reading. Like there's a lot of cards and files and rules. But it sounds awesome. Like yeah. I really want to try this game.
Fair enough.
A lot.
That does seem like a pretty neat game. So this is from Portal Games. They're a Polish company. You guys can check them out. It's just portalgames.pl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up.
This is actually kind of the board game news because
I put minis into it, buddy. Trust me. I added a fourth link in there that we need to talk about.
I was having a hard time finding anything I found that was relevant or new.
Fair enough.
We've talked about the game that these minis are for. This is for Bushido.
Yeah.
I guess there is minis.
Yeah, there are.
There's like Bushido's like a weird tabletop war game / board game at the same time. It's quite strange. But these things look amazing. Like,
yeah, man.
Like they're painted good, or not? I guess that's the artwork. But like the artwork is so good, and I love the sculpts.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're looking at renders, but I've actually seen some of the Bushido stuff. There's another streamer who I am going to forget to call out right now, who was painting them a couple of weeks ago, if I remember now. And I'm hoping to remember his name here in a little bit. But either way, yeah. I like a lot of the fantastic Japanese mythology stuff, and by fantastic I mean like the fantasy stuff more so than the like the actual history or the like war fighting stuff. I'm more in like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon than I am into like Shogun, the television series with John Rice Davies. But yes, John Rice Davies plays a Portuguese trader. It's an amazing TV series.
Yeah. Or if you watch it like
slash
it's the
Sala.
longest movie of all time.
Sorry?
Or if you watch it like I did, it's the longest movie of all time.
Totally fair.
Like 12 hours, I think.
I think it's 16 because it's like it was 8 full DVDs when I watched it. At any rate,
It's really good. It's a bit dry, but if you're into that kind of thing, I highly recommend it.
it's also a James Clavell novel, and there are better James Clavell's novels. Read Typhoon or Rat King. But yeah, Shogun's also like it is a good novel. It's really long. Like it's like 800 and some odd pages, if I remember correctly, from my youth, where I read way too many novels.
I still do.
Yeah, I hate to be that guy, but I've kind of fallen off reading and like doing it as audiobooks more because I can do audiobooks while I do other stuff.
Yeah, I do listen to audiobooks like while I clean and stuff, or like sometimes when I hobby.
That's fair. I stream while I hobby. Not all the time, because sometimes I'm attending a conference and I need to keep my hands busy. Otherwise, I go on the internet and forget that I'm at a conference. Next up in the news.
News is Space Kraken.
Oh, man. When I saw this, I don't know why it came up with the wrong header on this, but yeah, sure. We'll just turn that Chiron off. Space Kraken. This looks amazing. Yeah. I like this.
It looks so good. It's a rogue. So I'm not really sure what a roguelike game is.
Oh, so roguelikes, you die easily, but when you succeed, you start off with the equipment that you had when you died. So, did you play Hades at all this winter?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so like games like Hades or like Metroid and stuff, where you pick up Metroid's a Metroidvania. The games where you die, but death is only, and it's so there's two real things to a roguelike. One is it's procedurally generated, so like the winning condition is always the same, but how you get there is different, and persistent something after death. So even though you may die, you're gonna come back with new abilities, right? Is something that's not big in board games yet, but like the most famous roguelike board game so far is Kingdom Death Monster. So at any rate, Space Kraken.
Yeah, Space Kraken. It's a roguelike now that I know what that means. Dungeon crawler, it's an RPG. You can level up your crew, which is cool. And you just kind of you go. From what it sounds like here, you command your own ship. Does only require one book, which is always super nice because
What?
I remember when having to play like Warhammer, you needed like I think for Space Wolves I would have needed like 4 books.
The super secret project that I'm working on requires me to have 4 books so far, and that is including the AOS 3 core rules. 4 books across 3 editions. Super happy about that. I'm not happy about that. But this is a Kickstarter, and I did take a look into this. It looks really neat, actually. I actually like the idea of a dungeon crawling roguelike. So the dungeon itself is generated through interacting with the book itself. And yeah, there are like puzzles to solve, and sometimes the solution to the puzzle is death. I'm really looking forward to seeing how far they get down this. Well, even since I looked at it first thing this morning, they've unlocked another one. So stable foldable kick sheet, stable multiplayer sheets, 4 extra heroes. This is the one that I'm really looking forward to, is unlocking some more heroes. I don't care about soundtracks, but holographic covers, man. The 4 extra heroes is the one that I'm really hoping that we get to on this, because I'm thinking about backing this one. This actually seems like a lot of fun. I do want more solo games to play because I haven't gotten to play a whole lot of board games in the last year for some reason. Can't remember why. But yeah, I thought it looked cool. It is originally developed as a solo game too. So it is a solo game that has a multiplayer mode as opposed to most games where it's like, hey, this is a multiplayer game, but you can play by yourself if you don't have friends. But yeah. And then we'll go into... Did you have anything else about Space Kraken?
You know, it was kind of the one I didn't read the most about last night. I was really tired and I fell asleep.
That's totally fair. I am... Okay, so news number 4. This is something... Yeah, I don't know why it's setting up the wrong chirons. That's annoying that the lower thirds didn't take properly. Whatever. Orko Boyos. So GW has been doing a lot of announcing things about 40k. Well, they try desperately to not actually talk about 40k. There's something else that's going on with GW right now. I can't remember what it is. But every time we talk about 40k, we do it in hushed tones while we talk about whatever else it is that they keep screaming loudly at everybody. But all of the 40k orcs are getting tougher, which seems like the right thing.
Yeah, like
So the orcs now, as far as I read on the Instagram post, and I could go find the Instagram post that talks about this, it sounds like the base toughness for all orcs is going to T5.
Yep, that is true.
That includes things like Gretchens.
Yep. Choppas, big choppas, and huge choppers are also getting new stats,
Which is good. And I think that this is all a part of the tournament pack for 2021, which it's time for a refresh. It's not quite an FAQ, but they are giving the new tactical rules and whatnot. So this is, I'm sure, that just I'm spilling this stuff before we get the General's Handbook. And I'm certain it's going to be right around the same time that they launch AOS 3. So I'm thinking the end of June, early July. They may have actually announced a date for that. I don't think that they have yet, though. But yeah, so changing stats isn't just happening with these guys. Go and follow them on IG because we've gotten new stats for Thousand Suns. We've gotten new stats for GK. We've gotten new cover art for GK Thousand Suns and the Orcs for their new codices that are all coming out for 9th edition, which is about dang time because other than the Astartes and Necrons, who even has codices for 9th edition?
Yeah.
Does Chaos? Because I don't think that Chaos Undivided does. They didn't launch it like they did with 8, where everybody, like, they got the short books where you had, like, Astartes, or, sorry, Imperium 1 and 2, Xenos, and Chaos. We just got the 9th edition books, and, like, a year later, almost, we're starting to get, like, actual codexes, so...
We got the Death Guard and the Thousand Suns books for Chaos. And I think they also got like a Chaos Space Marines or like Heretic Astartes book. Because people are like, hey, cool, nothing changed rules-wise for except you took like our ability to take Death Guard or Thousand Suns and this army away. Cool, thanks, bye.
Thanks, G-dubs.
Yeah, if you are a Chaos player, I feel for you. You are GW's redheaded stepchild.
Hey man, once every edition we get one new Chaos faction, so we can really hope that in this edition, 9th edition, Fulgrim gets to come back and we can have a noisy, sexlicious party.
Yeah, Fulgrim is... he's got 4 arms and a snake body now as a demon prince, and I think also feather wings because I don't really know. Chaos mutations, I guess.
Because he wanted to be Quetzalcoatl, except for in Primarch, demon Primarch form. Quetzalcoatl is the flying snake deity from Aztec mythology. But also, yeah, I don't know. I like the possibilities for getting a demon Primarch, one per. It's either going to be Angron or Fulgrim. If we do get a demon Primarch that comes out of the warp, because 7th edition ended with Magnus showing up and Rowboat Girly Man showing up, and then Mortarion was like, surprise, it's Grandpa let me loose. And everyone was like, this is possibly the coolest model that GW has ever produced. And then it's been a long dry spell. I mean, that's not true. All of Chaos got their new Chaos stuff, like actual Chaos Undivided finally got some attention in 40k, which was Neato Burrito. I do like all of the Black Legion stuff. It is really great.
Yeah, I do love the new Chaos Space Marine box. Those are gorgeous sculpts.
Oh yeah, and literally everything that, like, even Fabius Bile is like a part of that. Obviously, that he was a part of that whole release in the middle of 8. So kudos to Games Workshop on that stuff.
Games Workshop, if you are listening, which you probably are.
Yes, they are.
Please update Khorne Berserkers. They're from 3rd edition still.
Yeah, and that is the thing, is I wonder if they put out that one Noise Marine just as sort of a test balloon, because I really like that thing, but I am not paying $45 for a single Noise Marine. I say that as I chop up the $40 Space Marine Lieutenant. I would really love an actual set of Noise Marines. I think a lot of people would be down for that. You guys did incredible work with the Age of Sigmar and Slaanesh Demonettes. Like, the updates to the Slaanesh Demons was great. Sort of wondering where we're at with either some new Khorne Berserkers, or, and by Khorne Berserkers I definitely mean like the 40k Berserkers, or Age of Sigmar Berserkers. Now that I think about it, I don't think that they've got much there either.
For the kind of barbarian looking guys for Chaos?
Yeah, I mean, they did get some stuff.
New human ones, like they updated like the Chaos Marauder guys.
Well, and they got the Slaughter Priests and stuff too early in Age of Sigmar 1.
Yeah. But like, one thing I would like to see for Chaos, give us give us a box or a conversion pack for every Heretic Astartes Legion.
Well, I can show you the conversion pack for Alpha. See, it looks like this. These are all actually Alpha Legion. I just threw up the intercessor sprue.
Yeah, I
It was a good joke. Shut up.
Maybe smile. On that note, Steve, I think it's time for a break.
Oh, thank God, it is 1,000 degrees in here.
Yeah, I have to use the little beard's room.
Aw. Hey, Age of Thousands. Welcome to the channel. You made it just in time for me to need to run the air conditioner for a few minutes. So we'll be back in about, let's say, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Right now we're working on conversions for our Fabius Bile / Emperor's Children. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. I know I'm here. Adam, are you here? No, I'm here all by myself. That's cool. I figured I'd show you guys a little bit around the end of chapter 1. Volume 1. So this was our Dark Angel. We completed him. I didn't put chapter markings on our Fallen because, you know what? I felt like we were done. I might come back someday and put some chapter markings or some, I guess, squad markings on our dude. But yeah. This was it. This was where we left it off. So, if you want to check out more about this, you can go back into our VODs and see some of the stuff on the video on demand. You can head over to the YouTube channel. It's just under Choice Minis on YouTube. Or if you want, you can head over to my Instagram, just at Choice Minis on Insta. You can see there's a bunch of documentation on this boy all over there. I got a full build documentary that I've got partially finished that is going to go up on the website. It's just choiceminis.com or choiceminis.ca, I guess, right now. But yeah, you guys can go and check that stuff out, see for yourself just exactly how we got here. And we're going to do something completely different for now. We are working on volume 3 tonight, or started on volume 3 tonight, which includes our Astartetizing of Fabius Bile over here, or Fabius Bile. Somebody's going to correct me on that one someday. And either way, I'm cool with it. Fabius. Dude McGee. But tonight we're working on... so I wanted to get some hollowed out armor. I actually wanted to put armor on an armor stand, and we've got our Astartes that is on the 3D printer. Unfortunately, I've been having 3D printer issues today. I think it's because the last time I fired up the 3D printer, I was using some different stuff, or different resins. And I got a new resin today that I'm working with, so obviously dialing it in on the day that I need a completed part was not probably the smartest thing I could have done, but you know, one way or another, that's where we're at. So we're working to hollow out some armor on an Astartes here, and we're just using a regular old intercessor here tonight. And then we'll start working on getting a little bit of paint, actually. I think probably here in about 15 minutes or so, we'll start working on paint on our Reaper of Learning. Where did I put the Reaper of Learning? He's around here somewhere. But we were talking about paint color just before we went to the break, and I can hear in my ears the man, the myth, the legend, the heroic scale actual man, Beach _ vacation Mando on Insta. What's up, Adam?
That just reminded me, I got a new nickname at work.
Ooh.
I am Buff Guy the Vampire Slayer. We were staking in erosion matting, and they're literally like 1 by 1 holes, I guess.
Yep.
But they've all been pre-cut to like 2 feet in length and tapered down to a point. And I was like holding one and just kind of like flipping it up around like in the air. And one of the guys at work was like, "Hey, look, it's Buff Guy the Vampire Slayer," and it just kind of stuck. So I have 2 official work nicknames now. One being, of course, Dr. Indiana Jones, because
you were named after the dog?
I guess so. So the last line by John Rice Davies, in that, "You're named after the dog," and then roll credits.
Well, first I have to run into the sunset, and by run I mean ride off into the sunset, because, you know. Oh man, I love the early Indiana Jones movies. It's too bad they've never made another one.
Right? I mean, well, okay. They have, but it's the young Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, no, the young Indiana Jones series is not that good either. I don't know if you've gone back to watch it as an adult. I've tried.
No, the only ones I enjoyed were the World War I one where he goes from being a soldier to a where he's like escaping from a POW camp, and then like the next one, he's a pilot.
Yeah, so you're talking about the second season, which is where Joaquin Phoenix is playing Dr. Indiana Jones. In the first season, he is a like 6-year-old boy.
Oh, okay, yeah. It wasn't Joaquin Phoenix. It was one of the guys from Boondock Saints.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh jeez. Now I'm forgetting who it is, but yeah. So slowly but surely. Oh goodness, I just looked at what's in the back there. I'm gonna cut some of the stuff out of the back of this guy. Yeah, no, the like first season where it is like not just young Indiana Jones, but like 8-year-old Indiana Jones. Joaquin Phoenix was the movie. That was Last Crusade, where Joaquin Phoenix is young Indiana Jones.
Oh no, that was River Phoenix.
River Phoenix, yes, not Joaquin Phoenix.
It was also one of the actors in the movie Explorers. And if none of you have seen Explorers, I highly recommend it. That is an excellent hidden gem from the 80s.
I have not, but that doesn't mean... Okay. I mean, I do like 80s movies. My favorite movie, probably of all time, is still Total Recall. Not Colin Firth Total Recall or Colin Farrell.
Yeah. But I like the Colin Farrell one only because it's closer to the book.
Yeah, I don't care. I like my ridiculous Arnie movie. I mean,
the 80s Total Recall is far superior. There's no question.
Paper mache boob? Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Wait, open your mind.
Right? Just everything about that movie is ridiculous in every way, and I love it.
Some of Artie's best one-liners are in that movie.
Right?
He killed Benny with the giant drill. Screw you, Benny. Screw you. Perfect.
Perfection.
And when he throws Michael Ironside off the elevator, after Michael Ironside makes a catty joke about seeing him at the party, and he throws him off the elevator going, "I'll see you at the party, Richter."
Oh boy.
So good.
So
the
good.
hologram. The
Oh
hologram
yeah.
part. You think this is the real Quaid? It is. So many good one-liners in that movie. I love Arnie movies. I don't care how bad that some of them are. They hold a special place in my heart.
Right? Like, there's a reason why he was such a big star, and it wasn't just because of Hercules in New York and his big, strong muscles, although he does have big, strong muscles, and Hercules in New York is a ridiculous movie. Having recently rewatched it. But also, having recently rewatched Starship Troopers, I can tell you that Michael Ironsides is nothing to sneeze at. And then I watched Dungeons and Dragons, and I was like, never mind.
Yeah. What's another good... Like, one of the things I like about Arnie is he was never afraid to make fun of himself. See the Last Action Hero movie?
Oh, yeah, or Jingle All the Way, or, like...
Twins, Junior, Kindergarten Cop.
Even True Lies, him and, what's his name? Whenever they put him in Tom Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever they put Arnie against a comedian, he manages to hold his own. Even though the joke is always like, look who's big, dumb, and full of muscles, right? Right, guys? Big, dumb, and full of muscles, eh? But, like, he had comedy chops.
Yeah, he was funnier than you'd expect. Also, True Lies is probably the greatest Arnie movie of all time.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Tom Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis. And, what's his name? The weedy dude. Who pretends to be a spy to seduce Jamie Lee Curtis at the beginning?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't remember his name right now. That makes me sad.
He's also the annoying detective in Predator 2.
Oh, man, I forgot Predator 2 even existed until right now. There you go.
That's a good movie. I enjoyed that movie. It's not...
It is not a good movie. There is no Predator movie that is a good movie. It just happens that, like, the first Predator is great and an Arnie movie. As I shoot bits of Space Marine across the room. Oh man, there is so much crud in there that I'm going to have to clean out. Okay, this looks like a good time to talk about files and needle files. I really love this set of files. It's just the Excel. There we go. Excel needle files. I love these things. I think you can find them in the description. If not, I'll update it at some point in time and put them in the description for the videos on YouTube. Man, I love these files. They are small. They are they still chew through plastic pretty well, but I don't find I've had a lot of needle files. I've gone through a number of sets of needle files, including the like super expensive like Mr. Hobby ones and stuff, and the what was the other set that I had? I think I had a set that like Testers or something made. They were no good. I really do appreciate these. Modulating pressure on them does actually leave more or less marring on the work that you're doing, and I cannot tell you how important that is when sometimes you need to modulate in that way and don't necessarily want to break out 1000 grit sandpaper to redo the finish on a piece. I mean, I will when it is necessary or expedient to do so, but not every time. I have the weirdest grip when I do sanding, but this is something I actually picked up from Adam Savage, of all people, from watching his videos on tested.com. It allows me to modulate pressure, and I don't have to hurt my hand doing the like trying to hold it like, you know, that or something. It just sort of naturally fits into my hand. And I'm not saying that this is for everyone, but I have tiny little hands, so it might be a good option for you. Also got nerve damage in both arms, so, well, actually in my back, that affects both hands. I don't have the steadiest hands on the planet, and not having to death grip things makes it so that my hands are quite a bit steadier. So just a tip for you out there. If you find that you have really shaky hands when you're trying to, you know, work on plastics or painting and stuff like that, relaxing your grip is going to get you a long way to getting rid of some of the shakes. It won't get rid of all of them, but it will help get rid of some of them, I found. So we were talking about paint colors for the Emperor's Children at one point before we got like dirt roaded by me being like, Indiana Jones is great, isn't it?
Indiana Jones is great.
Only they'd made more than 3 and a 2-season TV show. But so, yeah, I don't like GW's hot pinks. I'll be that guy. I do not think that Emperor's Children is a good color if you want to do hot pink Space Marines, and I think that we should have a debate before we start putting paint down on these guys. What we should do for color, and maybe chat might have some ideas. Do we do Emperor's Children in hot pink? Do we do Emperor's Children in a variety of like animal prints? What do you guys think? Because however you think we should go about this, I promise I will do it. I will implement your ideas.
Probably the most ostentatious as possible.
Oh yeah?
Like that.
Like we should do like 40k Noise Marine style?
We might have to. I mean, in the 30k, like, dudes put gold filigree on anything. Oh, hey, it's my cod piece. Gold filigree.
Oh yeah. I was gonna.
Because I'm fancy.
I am fancy as just the fanciest boy. Yeah. I don't have strong feelings one way or another. I mean, I've seen a lot of really, really pretty. Excuse me. I've seen a lot of really, really pretty representations of Emperor's Children on the internet. I have not found one that has made me go, "Oh, yeah, let's do this." Like, this is what I was looking up before. You can see it on the stream here in a second, Adam. But like, that is the Forge World. That is their. That is the captain for the Emperor's Children, the 30k captain.
That's one of their praetor.
Yeah, sorry, you're correct. It is a praetor because he's got the two-handed longsword. Also the like cool sideways comb. Not even sure what you would call that. But we are also looking at like white shoulder pads with gold accents all over the place and sort of a, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that purple. There's other purples and stuff out there. There's lots of people that make them look very much like Buzz Lightyear with the white, purple, and green. That's a bold step, Cotton. And if I have seen, yes, I have seen all the stupid meme pages where they make the like Buzz Lightyear Space Marines. Yes, I will do that if that is what chat tells me to do. I will try and make it look as good as I can. I'm not a huge fan. The other one that I really like, this is a little bit of a different interpretation. So this is obviously a Chaos Marine, but we are going to have Fabius Bile doing the whole having human skin draped across their his shoulder pad, because it's Fabius Bile. Like, he's going to be a weird dude in our lore as much as he is in the regular lore. Like, he's a weird dude. He would absolutely wear human skin. I don't know if the rest of them need to be wearing human skin, though. But this is another... Sorry?
I would say probably not for the other guys, but him, total weird human skin fetish.
Yeah, right? I mean, I am certain... You know how there's like the weird, like, this guy got addicted to plastic surgery. That's Fabius Bile. That is the spirit of Fabius Bile, Fabius Bile, Flabius Bile, Laborious Bile. He is haunting actual, like, living human beings. I'm pretty sure that that's where that comes from. But that is another option for possible paint colors. I am noticing the more that I look at this, the more people are really sort of shying away from the actual, like, bright pinks. And I kind of like the way that this sort of thing looks.
Yeah, that was the old, like, semi-official, like, 5th edition color scheme for them when their little booster came out for Noise Marines. And then you got, like, the Emperor's like the bigger, like, Emperor's Children one that gave you the Sonic Cannon and the Sonic Blaster, and then cool bits.
Which, like, I know that this, like, he's got the big Marcus Slanesh on the front of him, and this artist has obviously done some other work. I do like the more subtle filigree that's going on here, and this is something that carries through into the Slanesh demons even to today. Like, when Games Workshop paints the big, like, Slaneshi demons, the whole fading from a white pink to a darker purpley pink, having the lighter pink be a transitional, like, background filigree. This is something that some poor soul had to do on a whole bunch of demonettes and stuff on, like, on that heavier metal team. Like, that is literally something that they had to do on their, like, thighs and stuff. We can look at it a bit, but, like, that is something that the mask had on her, or has on her, on the current GW website. Then, of course, there is, well, this isn't the box art one. That's the box art. Nope, that is somebody recreating the box art, but that is pretty close to somebody recreating the box art for the 40k Noise Marine that's out right now. I don't know that this fits with the lore that we're coming up with for this guy. Like, if we're talking about the perfection of an Astartes in a world that has no chaos, like, we're talking about... This guy is the perfect intercessor, right? Like, that is what I want to convey with this dude and this whole, like, scene, is we are witnessing the birth of the perfect intercessor, right? Like, we are watching the gene seed take hold in the perfection of the Emperor's vision. I guess in this case also Belisarius Calls and Rowboat Girly Man, Big Blue Mary Sue.
Yeah, like, I would not go the animal print way of the Noise Marine, though I love that mini, and the heavy metal team's paint scheme on him is amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna send a message to the mutual follow, or the dude who follows me on Insta, who is a part of the heavy metal team, and see if he actually knows who painted it, because it bums me out that GW artists don't get that call out. They do in White Dwarf, they don't on the box art, and I really feel like, you know, like, look at how cool the box art. So this is a box art for Fabius Bile. Like, look at how cool that is. And this gets printed millions and millions of times, like, well, hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of times. right?
Yeah,
like
that's
why
such
can't
a
they
good
give them like somewhere on here? Just give a little shout out to who our painter was, who our box art cover painter was. Like, just give us that. I feel like, yes, everybody knows it's a heavy metal team, but like we could shout out individual artists. That'd be cool. If they're all Darren Leatham in the end, like that'll be disappointing for everybody who's not Darren, but also like understandable. The dude's a god. This was one of the other ones. So this is a little bit more of a fleshy interpretation of pink. Wasn't super, I don't know. What do you think of that, man?
Not a big fan of that pink.
Like, if I was gonna go, like, here's the deal. If we're gonna go pink, we are going to go like eye-bleeding pink. Like, we are going to start at fuchsia and get hotter from there. Like, that is, if we are going pink, we are going pink. Like the hot pink that's on these dudes, not even hot enough. That is like 10% less hot than we want to be. We want to be the hottest pink that has ever hotted a pink.
Get behind that.
But it's down to between that and like a royal purple, right? Which also makes sense in their lore and all the rest of it from the standpoint of like real world lore for purple is that purple is really, 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 really hard to produce and dye fabrics. Like super hard. Like it was something that only royalty got to do until like basically the Industrial Revolution. And like by the Industrial Revolution, I mean like commercial dye products was when we got like purple for regulars instead of just kings and queens. So, but if you guys have strong feelings, we got lots of time before we finish this up. Before we start putting paint on this guy. So, or at very least on the armor for our Astartes here. So if you guys have definite feelings about this, shut them out. Put them in the chat. Send them in the comments. You can DM me on Insta. Let me know. Let me know how you feel about this. So we got most of the way to cleaned up on this chest piece, and this is one of those ones where I'm gonna like second guess myself on this and whether or not I should really just drill out the entire interior of it so that I can thin these walls. Oh, sorry, I'll get it a little better on stream. And eventually it will. There we go. I'm just wondering whether I should actually take the time and drill this all out and get rid of all of the internal structure part of it here, or if we're gonna have this dude standing in such, or the armor mounted in such a way that it won't matter that much. But one way or another, we'll figure it out. I'm not worried. Okay, I'm a little worried, but not that worried.
Not worried enough to really do something about it yet.
Yet is the big part of that.
I guess it's more of a concern at the moment.
Yeah, and we'll see where my concern grows to. So at this point in time, I'd also like a back to our Space Marine, and I just drop bits because that's what I do. I throw bits at the ground and then I step on them.
That's how you find them.
Nope, I didn't drop it on the ground. Just threw it over into the Fabius pile. Fabio pile. Oh, should we rename him Fabio Bile?
I mean, he's obsessed with plastic surgery.
Get behind my face.
Super attractive.
He's still a very attractive man. Like, don't go hating on.
I haven't seen what he looks like lately.
I mean, he is like got to be in his 60s. So like, as long as he doesn't look like Skeletor or like, I don't know. Listen, I hope to look half as good as he does at any age when I'm his age. Question on shoulder pads. Yeah, go for it. My name is Red. What is your question on shoulder pads?
Questions from the screen.
Yeah, questions from chat. I don't know how I feel about that. Sorry, I'm trying to look for a backplate that I actually like. So not the backpack, but the actual... Because I'm going to take...
Backplate of the armor.
Yeah. Got Marines that are easy fit, but want custom pads instead of dactyls. Okay. Cutting up the push fit Marines is not easy. You're seeing it as I go through with this guy. How do I sort it? Yeah, okay, so the easiest way to do it, and I did it on Fabius Bile here. So This is Fabius's arm. Fabius's arm actually comes with, if we look at the box art here, or we can actually swap to that page. Somewhere in here, it'll show putting on a shoulder pad. So yeah, you can see, comes with a shoulder pad. Oh, that's not a great example of this. Fine. Let's talk about it. Can I find a sprue that actually has one on there? No. Okay, if I was to redo a shoulder pad, I honestly, if it's got the arm on it, chop the arm off at the bottom of the shoulder pad. So if I was to, I'm not going to do it to this one because I'm using this one, but let's talk about this guy. Eventually it'll come into focus. There we go. So if I was to redo this one, right at the bottom of the shoulder pad there, I would come in with a knife, and I would literally very thin slits. So on the push fit intercessors and push fit reavers are both this way. Right at the bottom of the shoulder pad, go in with a knife and be gentle and take your time. Just keep dragging the knife across the bottom there until it starts to split apart. And then you can put a little bit more force into it. Make sure you have a cutting mat beneath it. But that would be how I would go about it. Take it all the way off. And then putting the new custom pad on. So like, let's say you've got either like a multi-part kit, like a just regular old shoulder pads or whatnot. So we got some regular looking shoulder pads here. On the inside here, I would just build up some green stuff or some white stuff, like milliput, green stuff, what have you in here, because everything that's basically inside of this hoop is invisible. You might get a little bit of vision into it. If you're going to have the arm be open in some way, so like, let's say you can see a little bit of the, so like on this intercessor lieutenant that I've got here, you can see there's a little bit of that stuff. Cool. I would sculpt it. Toothpicks and lots of water are your friends when you're sculpting with milliput or with green stuff. But that is really how I would do it. If you want to do custom shoulder pads instead. If you don't want to buy the GW custom sets for shoulder pads, there are methods through Google to find certain ones of them. Actually, GW lost we didn't talk about this at all. GW lost their court case against one of the old custom bits resellers. They didn't lose entirely. It is a split decision in a lot of ways, but shoulder pads is one of the things that they don't actually have a patent on. So it's one of the ones that you should hopefully in the United States and Canada be able to start seeing legitimate third-party resellers for pads. I know that Pop Goes the Monkey does some shoulder pads if you want somebody else to print it for you. Like if you're not wanting to print it yourself, with like you don't have a 3D printer. There are lots of bits makers that have just ignored the lawsuits and gone ahead and made their own generic spaceman pads. Some of them are great. Even if you find some of the old ones, so like talking about like even the not 8th edition ones when they did all the first founding chapters again, when we got all of our Dark Angels, Blood Angels.
When all the different all the founding chapters, and
yeah, except for they didn't really do Space Wolves. Space Wolves kind of got boned, which is okay with me because Space Wolves were the only ones who really got any love of the Ultramarines in 7th. So
I don't like it really any of the stuff that Space Wolves got. I think the Frost guns are dumb.
Fair enough. But yeah, if I was going to replace a shoulder pad on a push fit, that would be how I would do it. I wouldn't do it mounted on the model, so if you can keep it separate, I would do it that way. But yeah, thanks for the question, man. I hope a lot of peeps in the UK do them. Yeah, there's lots of bits guys in the UK. It's really hard. The UK and Poland, since Poland doesn't seem to care much for intellectual property rights, even though they're a part of the EU, you'll find a lot of guys that do them in those parts of the world. Lots of guys in Pop. Who else am I thinking of? There's Pop Goes the Monkey, and then there's another one that I really love that has all those awesome Tau.
Oh, I've completely drawn a blank.
They do like Tau and space insects and stuff like that. Hang on, let's take a look real quick. I think I can find it pretty quickly. Custom Tau Rangers. But they also do a whole bunch of Astartes bits. Nope, not coming up right away. Oh, Wargame exclusive. They're called the Greater Good. But anyway, Wargamer exclusive also has a whole bunch of shoulder pads and stuff if you're looking for Space Warriors. Because, you know, they can't. It's funny because the like lawsuit that got settled, it wasn't settled. The lawsuit that went through last week was, I can't remember who it was. But like GW lost on like, there was 70 some odd charges brought against the guy, and they lost on like 48 of them. Which basically means, for now at least, we can go back to actually making bits and calling them like Space Marines and stuff, and GW can stick it. They're still gonna, I'm certain they're still gonna send the threatening letters because they have to, but like, at any rate, 3D printing isn't ruining the hobby. 3D printing is allowing us all to be more creative. Even though I'm sitting here with a whole bunch of like $90 worth of GW parts that I'm basically ripping apart right now because I don't like what they were doing with them, so I want to make my own.
No, I get that. I've definitely done that.
Oh yeah, I
bought the old Hammer Empire General just for the sword and like conversion bit.
Ooh, do we talk about my super secret project? Because now that we mentioned old Hammer, yeah, definitely. If you're in the UK, it is way easier to get some of this stuff too. I'm in Canada, so like Green Stuff World. Let's see, I ordered like 400 Canadian dollars worth of stuff from, or 200 and no, it was about $300 worth of Green Stuff World stuff. Delivery is 30 to 60 days through Royal Mail, or sorry, through Spanish Royal Mail, and I think I paid like $75 in shipping. So yeah, shipping rates from the EU to Canada suck. So it's yeah, if you're in the UK or you're in the Euro, like it seems to be way easier to get bits and stuff. I'll give you that much. Sorry, Adam. I asked you a question and then answered a stream question because I'm that guy. Should we talk about the super secret project? Adam, are you dead? Everyone hold a F's in chat for Adam, as Adam has died. Well, since Adam's not here to tell me no, give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna go grab some stuff. Oh yeah, no, it is absolutely ridiculous. My name is Red. Or my name is Mr. Ed? Mr. Ed. Oh, okay, I get it. Oh wow. There it is. See? I actually have to read the names. Give me 2 seconds, I'm gonna grab something. So I'm not going to tell you why I own or why we're doing this, because that is its own video at some point in the near future. And by near future, I mean like whenever I can actually get some restock on parts. But we got some stuff going on here. Some definite weirdness is going on in the land. Oh, and it's not just one. It's not just two either. I got through, so I went and found some, or got some bits yesterday. I'm still not happy with the position of that guy's head. But I have a project coming up. We're gonna do a long-bedded stream at some point in the very near future here for some dudes. I think Adam and I, as soon as Adam and I are both fully vaccinated, we're gonna get together and do our thing together on the internet for the first time in person in like, oh yeah, I can hear you again, buddy.
Oh god, my For some reason, Discord was like, "Hey, I'm going to switch what your audio input is going from to default."
I love when Discord is like, no, I know better than you what your sound preferences are. Just let me do it. And it's like, no, Discord, you've never once chosen right.
No, it's super dumb. What I was going to say earlier was there's another conversion thing that actually in the UK might be a little bit quicker than us in Canada. It would be Liber Daemonica. They just do heads and shoulder pads.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
it is from Russia, so it does take a while, and you kind of lose the tracking after it leaves Russia, because apparently the Russian postal service doesn't
believe it's like USPS, where they just like they're like, it made it to our border. We no longer give any shits about this.
That's exactly what it's like. I haven't had an update for 2 weeks, and that was just that it left Russia.
That's fair. My favorite is when I get things or order things off of literally anywhere on the internet, and they're like, do you want to ship it USPS? And I was like, please don't. And they're like, never mind, we shipped it to you USPS. And it's like, oh, someday this will show up at my house. I paid for tracking, and they're like, yep, we tracked it all the way to the border, and then we forgot to care. Still working on this belt. Yeah, Mr. Ed, I have a weird army, a weirdness coming up that I'm very excited for. I don't know if I will probably be the only person. I may have. Mr. Ed pulled a fast one on me, and he got me to divulge part of what I was talking about. Actually, you haven't seen the second one, have you?
I've seen 2 that you've sent me.
Oh yeah, so the third one is only partially completed, but yep. I still don't think that his head is in quite the right spot, but I will deal with that later. But yeah, we got some dudes. We got some dudes for a very weird army that I am building. Some dudes for a very, very weird army. I'm excited.
One of the old Hammer, like, kind of weird, little known factions I enjoyed was the Border Prince's army.
So okay, you definitely outstripped my knowledge. I gotta say, I am Age of Sigmar. I was 40k until Sigmar. So, who are the Border Princes, and why should I care?
The Border Princes were the other human civilizations.
Oh, okay.
The Empire of Bretonnia. So, there was Marienburg, which was like revolutionary France-esque. Their famous mercenary unit was the Marienburg Marines, and they were essentially old-timey Marines, basically. Like they
are we talking about like pit helms and like conquering India Marines, or what are we talking about as far as old-timey Marines?
Like, I would say like ship and sail era old-timey Marines.
Okay.
Were they like, they're naval infantry, basically. And like marksmen. So their jobs were on a ship would be to like board the other ship, but also have marksmen up in the rigging to shoot officers. There's another one that's, I can't remember their name, but their Greek hero is basically like is basically Hercules. Is their general.
Okay.
And they're like there's a Japanese one. There's non-chaos Norska.
Sorry, I'm having to deal with work here for a second. I apologize, everybody. Right. No,
there was
continuing to get worse.
Araby guys, because it was like ARBAY, because Games Workshop was like, hey, we're just don't have to pay copyrights if we change it and spell it all weird.
Yeah,
that is Games Workshop's logic on anything.
Well, no, they actually had to go through all this because at the start of the lawsuit that was actually just settled, or was ruled on. Not saying that it's finalized by any way. They're both going to appeal. I'm certain of it. But
Yeah.
part of it was part of the impetus for calling everything like actual things as opposed to just like generic names. Was like Space Marines, they can't copyright it, right? Like you can't copyright the idea of a Space Marine. You also, the weird one was that they lost control of sorry, you can't trademark the word Space Marine, but you can Adeptus Astartes, right? Or Astartes, right? So that's why they actually transitioned all the names, and why like the Imperial Guard became the Astra Militarum was because they needed to be able to protect their intellectual property. Lawsuit that they lost proves that they needed to do those things, so oh boy, this is the fun of being a contract worker. I tell you, friends, don't work the gig economy. It sucks. It sucks a lot. Sorry, I am having to deal with work stuff while I'm on stream. We'll be back in like 2 seconds. I'm actually gonna put us to a break so that I can do that stuff. I will be back in like 2 minutes, I promise. I am sorry. That took forever. That was more time than I thought it would be. Nothing like gig work. Oh boy. Okay, so Mr. Ed, whatever happened to squats in 40K? Well, they're still technically making them. They made one.
Yeah, like there's two. There's two now.
What's the second one? There's the one in Necromunda.
Yeah, also Necromunda, I believe.
Oh, okay. I just remember the one from Necromunda, so there you go. Whatever happened to squats in 40K? It's never coming back because they were a bad army that mechanically wasn't separated enough from the rest of the Imperium. It's the same reason why you don't see ratlings anywhere except for in like Blackstone Fortress. I am certain that if there was a mechanically interesting way to bring them back into the game, that wasn't just this is the Astra Militarum but different, we would absolutely see them come back. It looks like Age of Sigmar is getting Chaos Dwarves, so maybe 40K can have Chaos Dwarves. That's what happened to the squats. They became chaotic. There are lore reasons for them to not be around anymore, too. I think they all died.
Yeah, and near extinction, and the remainders have pulled the dwarves and retired to their fortress worlds.
Yep.
And did use their crazy squat technology, and basically was like, "Hey, you can't get to us through the warp anymore." Bye.
Yeah, I think that was the lore reasons, but mechanically, if I remember correctly from second where they disappeared, they just weren't that different from what was gonna end up being the guard. So goodbye.
Wait, this is updated lore on what happened to the squats.
I know, Rule of Cool definitely wins. Okay, so what is our updated squat lore?
Tyranids.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. They all became a part of the biomass. The Tyranids have eaten them. This is like when my friends and I got in trouble when we were kids. And did you know that you can get stickers printed nearly anywhere? Did you know that you can get stickers printed that say eaten by coyotes? And I realize, Mr. Ed, that you're in the UK and you don't have coyotes there, but imagine large wild dogs that just sort of prowl around and get to do whatever they get to do. Lost children signs are a prime target in the 1990s in the superstore or in the local grocery store. So imagine going to Tesco, finding the lost children signs and putting a sign on them that says that they were eaten by coyotes. Imagine the amount of trouble that a bunch of teenage dum-dums could get in trouble with such powers. Lost cat, eaten by coyotes. Lost child, eaten by coyotes. Looking for a new plumber? Eaten by coyotes.
Actually, when my friends and I repurposed a roll of his dad's police line "Do Not Cross" tape and blocked off an intersection. Then we're like, "Hey, our friend makes fake blood by the gallon. What if we did chalk outlines and spread fake blood all around this intersection we just taped off? It just happens to be the major intersection of two highways through my hometown."
Yep. That sounds like the type of mischief that I really appreciate.
Yeah.
I know it's all
It was part of a broader plan. It was a distraction so we could go free the chickens from the chicken barn. But when we got to the chicken barn, we realized our bolt cutters wouldn't work, and the other ones were at my buddy's house in the garage. And we got to his house, but the beer fridge is in the garage too. So yeah, yep. We never freed the chickens.
Long story short, the chicken stayed in captivity. Yeah, I don't know. The old squats, those models, they were cool at the time. I feel like the aesthetic has sort of passed us by, unfortunately. Not to say that they can't come back and be reimagined, because the Necromunda squat is pretty neato. I think he's pretty cool looking.
He's really
all of the Necromunda models vaguely remind me of Raiden for some reason.
From
Raiden, Mortal Kombat Raiden, Raiden, God of Lightning.
That's
all right. See him
Raiden.
Sorry, did you just call him Raiden?
From Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty.
Oh, okay. No, I was talking about Raiden from from the Mortal Kombat franchise. I have played two Metal Gear Solid games, so
I played all of. No, the only one I haven't played is the one on the GameCube. But I did play.
Let's see. I have played Metal Gear Solid 2. 2 was the first one that was on PS1, yes?
No, that's Metal Gear Solid.
Okay, so I played Metal Gear Solid, and then I want to say Metal Gear, the game on Game Boy.
Yeah, that's the very first Metal Gear game, and then there's Metal Gear 2, and Metal Gear Solid's actually the third game.
Listen, Hideo Kojima keeps getting, like, thought of as a genius. I find his games to be impenetrable and boring, so probably not a great candidate for getting Metal Gear into my life.
That's fair. I really enjoy Metal Gear. I'm not a fan of his other games.
That's fair.
But I really like the aesthetic of Metal Gear. The first one was fun. I got all of the endings on, or not the first one. The first two games were impossibly hard.
Yeah, they were. Guess who didn't own any other Game Boy games than Street Fighter 2 for the Game Boy, which was impossibly easy. Yeah. Anyway. You know what it is time for, though?
Oh, it's time for Hits on 2 Plus. I have not been paying attention to the time at all.
That's all right. It's like we got a little bit of time left in the stream. So what have we got? What's your nominee for Hits on 2 Plus?
He is actually kind of a fun one because his name is Ironbeak_mercenaries, or his homebrew Kroot mercenary army, the Ironbeak Mercenaries. I actually discovered him the other day from there's one guy I follow on Instagram. He'll do like a painting and like kind of little like 40K-ish looking like box with a write-up on the character he does the drawing of, or the artistry of. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Let's see what else this guy has. And then I was scrolling through, and yeah, I came across this guy. The Kroot on some sort of Kroot horse with a Kroot hound.
This is a real Goofy owning Pluto sort of situation.
Yeah. So that's how all of the Kroot are. Like, all of their stuff is Kroot whatever it is.
It's just Kroots all the way down.
Kroot hound. The Kroot are also kind of like neat. They are a little similar to the Tyranids, where they absorb the genetic material of what they eat, but unlike the Tyranids, it's not for the next generation. It actually alters the living Kroot itself.
Neato.
Yeah. They're a very underused portion of Tau armies these days. When Tau first got released, I think in 6th edition.
Yeah, Tau was 6.
Yeah, Tau was 6. They were a huge factor in.
Oh yeah, because we had Kroots, we had all of our Vespids, which we still have the same models today. I don't remember what else we had. Well, the Kroot Hounds, obviously. But that's not a regular Kroot Hound either. That is somebody has modeled a new Kroot Hound, which is neato.
Yeah. And, he made his own Kroot horse out of something.
Oh, the Kroot horse is definitely made out of, what are they called? Star Drakes? It's from Stormcast Eternal.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, they remodeled the face on it a little bit, but otherwise it's and they added the bobtail instead of having a long flowy dragony tail. But yeah, it's a Dracolion. Just I recognize the pose. So it's either is a Dracolion or like it's based off of the pose of a Dracolion, which either or. Then it's got a cool modded up face. He's also carrying a shield from the Vansars. And then we've got an Adeptus Mechanicus. That is their walkers that just got a huge point boost. But they're like walkery javelin or lance things, which never made sense to me, but makes more sense in this context, I guess. That is really neat. I like that guy. He's got all sorts, and you're right, there are all sorts of recruits going on too. So definitely not just this one. Just so you guys are aware, you guys can vote on who you think is the. Welcome back, Miss Red. You guys can vote on who you guys think wins in chat or in the comments. We'll announce a winner next week. So this is Adam's choice for Hits on 2+. Also, if you could head over to Iron Break or Iron Beak and give him some love on IG, that'd be cool. For my entry on Hits on 2+ this week, we have it's Tyrael. Oh, this is the wrong. It literally didn't bring any of our banners over this week. That's sad. It's Tyrael. It's Tyrael. I hate the Ultramarines. I don't really like Den of Imagination's painting schemes. I don't like them at all, really. But like, whatever. That's not the point. Tyrael is not a banner. It's Tyrael. It's Tyrael from Diablo 2, and I love it. I have a tattoo of Tyrael on me. That's how much I love Tyrael. And there's Tyrael on a banner. I love it. It's stupid. I hate this model. I hate the post. I hate the banner. I hate everything about this except for its Tyrael. I even hate the little glowy lights that they put all over it with their airbrush because they're just sloppy and bad at their jobs. But like, it's Tyrael. I wanna make an Ultramarine chapter that is, you cannot judge this, for it is justice itself. Okay, mine is a stupid meme this week, but yeah, you guys can vote down in the comments if you'd like to be included in our Hits on 2+ segment. We would always love to have you. We've had a couple of our fellows, some of you in chat on the stream before. We had the stuff from Sean a couple of weeks back. If you guys want to submit your stuff, you can always just DM me on Instagram. Just hit me up. I'm at Choice Minis. You can follow Adam at beach_vacation_Mando. Yeah, if you want to get your stuff started on the stream, that's cool. Even if you just want us to take a look at your stuff, that's fine. If you hit me up with a follow, I'll follow you back. But that's all. That's what I got. God, I hate this model so much. I just hate it. But it's also Tyrael. But I hate it. Fair.
No, I get that.
Like, look at how bad that banner is, and I'm sure that this is like $150 at least for one model. God, I hate it. Anyway,
I remember the days when they actually used to give you a real cloth banner.
Oh, this is okay. I don't want to get into it too much. I don't like talking about Den of Imagination. They make me sad. Let's go back to modding stuff. It is like the sweatshop of custom painting. Stuff is just, they're running a business and people like it, and that's cool. That's fine. I don't have to agree with their choices. They just are what they are. Their choices are their own. But I hate them. Sorry, I know nobody else on the planet cares about this. It's just that it just bothers me. That's all. It's like the GW artists not getting their names on the box art. It bothers me in that way. Like, individually, I'm sure that these painters are better than the work that they produce for Den of Imagination, but Den of Imagination just, like, sweatshops their way through employees. Anyway. Okay. Now that I'm never getting a job with Den of Imagination.
I think we are...
Oh, yeah, it should be back. Are we back? Mr. Ed, are we back? I can see you typing at me. It's not so much that it froze as that I just like wandered off stream and was like gesticulating wildly while holding pointy objects because I'm down.
Well, I did have to do a refresh after the Hits on 2+.
Neat. All right. Well, we continue to break my sad computer. Good news is it sounds like there are finally going to be 3070s released again in a couple of days here. Bad news is I'm probably not going to get one this time either. I've been trying to get a 30 series graphics card now for, I don't know, when did they get released? In November of last year, I think? When all the 30 series graphics cards came out. Trying ever since to get my greasy gamer hands all over a new graphics card because my 9-year-old R9 290 is dying.
Speaking of greasy gamer hands.
Ooh, what about greasy gamer hands?
The MechWarrior 5 update and DLC are fantastic.
Oh, nice. I'm assuming you've been playing some MechWarrior 5.
Yeah, and with Sean because it's got crossplay for console to PC.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super fun. They mods don't currently work anymore, but a lot of modders are doing stuff or gonna update them. Some, unfortunately, the MechWarrior 5 Mercs Reloaded, it will not be updated anytime soon. The guy who created that mod is doing other stuff, having a life outside of computer games and whatnot.
There's a life outside of computer games and whatnot? Why didn't you tell me?
I just heard myself.
All right.
It's news to me. Outside of work and video games, I don't really do a whole lot. I mean, I also work like 12 hours a day, so I don't really have time to. I mean, I don't really play video games anymore. Like, I played maybe a total of like 4 hours of video games this weekend. Over the course of like a day and a half.
Yeah, I don't play that much for video games. I really love painting.
If I had the time, I probably.
I love painting and cooking, so those are my nerdy pursuits: painting stuff and cooking things. All right, we're not quite there yet on this belt, but we are as there as I'm going to get tonight without going and getting the cheaters on. So that is going to probably be where that one ends up for tonight. Mr. Ed, I don't know if you were on the stream before when we were talking about it, but do you have strong feelings about what color an emperor's children should be, or an emperor's child? I personally, this is just personal, because you know I'm chatting about it right now. This is as minimum as pink as we are going with. Like, this is the darkest version of pink that we would be doing for our emperor's child. So this is scale color fuchsia. I do not want to touch the game's colors Emperor's Children stuff. If we're going purple, we are going like a royal purple color. I don't think I got it got one somewhere close by here. I have like an annoyingly purple. You, violet. That's not nearly violent enough for what we're going with right now. Listen, here, we got minis. That is going to be the color of purple. If we are going purple, that is the purple that we are going with. That is...
Mr. Red said purple and pink.
Purple and pink?
A man of culture over there.
Now I have to figure out how to get that on the model. Well, if between now and when we start painting this, Mr. Ed gets enough people on Team Purple Pink, we'll go with it. I am halfway between like current like 40k, except for with cooler pinks than what they're going with, and Slanesh Demon purple white. So that is where my thoughts. Oh, thanks for the follow, Mr. Ed. That is where my thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put this to a boggle. I'm gonna have to, because like really nice, like deep royal purple would look so good, and I know you could pull it off. But I also want to see the brightest pink that makes my eyes bleed on them too.
Oh, we haven't even discussed what I'm gonna do for this pick. Hang on. We're gonna fall down the Stuart Semple. If anybody doesn't know, so there is colors out there called Black 2.0 and Black 3.0. These are really, really black blacks. They are not great for mini painting. That's not true. They are good in certain contexts for mini painting, but I have to say that one of my favorite things from Stuart Semple, who is the guy who makes Black 2 and Black 3, is this. It is called Pinkest Pink because, or I guess now it's called the world's pinkest pink. Yep. It is. I have seen this stuff in person. It is shocking. Like when you see this pigment in it, it doesn't matter what the context is. When you see this pigment in person, you are like, that is a travesty that more things aren't this pink. So this might be what I do. If we go with a pink, this is going to be our pink highlight color is going to be pinkest pink, or I guess world's pinkest pink now, since it's even pinker than it was before. There is also something on here called the glitteriest glitter, but it is literally like glass shards, which I use for snow, but I can tell you, I put a mask on and stuff when I'm using them because it's bad for you, like real bad for you. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we're gonna go on the paint job on this one yet. I want to honor Mr. Ed here properly by doing super pink, but we'll see. We will see. Oh boy. What else can we get done? We don't have a whole lot of time. This is what I was experimenting with. We can take a look at him briefly. This is what I was experimenting with for color. I was going for sort of like peach tones. I wasn't necessarily going skin tone, but I was doing like peach with a really, really dark purple shadow. Ignore the like red arm and stuff. This is just our Reaver of learning. It is how we learn things. We paint our Reaver so that we don't paint the models we care about, because who cares about Reavers?
Reavers are total garbage.
They're not garbage, but like they're not good in lore right now. So
I love the minis for them.
Yeah, minis are great. The like meta right now is bad.
And I heard, I know for a fact they are garbage in Kill Team.
Yeah, when the infiltrators and stuff all showed up, we kind of lost our reason for having Reavers.
It's like, oh, Reavers, but infiltrators, the same point cost, but with more equipment options.
Yeah,
and better stats.
Yeah, your drop outside of 9 inches anywhere on the board is basically the reason why you take infiltrators. And infiltrators is the drop anywhere on 9 inches. And what's the other, the opposite version of the same look, but they're the ones who are board control. They're the ones that prevent you from dropping anywhere within like a 24-inch bubble of them, so you can't deep strike units on them. I can't remember what they're called.
The Vanguard guys. That's those units came out.
Yeah, it's not eliminators. It's not. I can't remember right now.
Are you talking about like the flying guys?
No, not the flying dudes. Those are the. It's the opposite side of the infiltrator box.
Oh, the other ones.
It doesn't matter. I should probably.
Making Battle Scribe load up, but it doesn't want to, so
that's fair. So we are going to be back on Thursday, same time. So it's going to be 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and what is that in Pacific? That is 5 o'clock Pacific. 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Pacific on Thursday, June the 3rd. We will be coming back. We will be going back to the Orkland Raiders. These are our orcs. They are based off of the Oakland Raiders. They are eventually going to go to Armies on Parade in 2022, hoping that we have Armies on Parade back. I know that we finally got the announcement that Adepticon 2022 is back, so I'm hoping that we at least have a 2022 of Armies on Parade. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna get back to some black armor. I've done a bunch of tests this weekend. That's actually what I did most of this weekend as far as painting goes. Was painting test models to get the black armor where I was happier with it. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow, is some work on some black armor. So Thursday. We'll be back on Thursday with painting black armor. Until then, Adam, where can people find you on the internet?
People can find me at beach_vacation_Mando and follow my my progress has slowed down. I've been working a lot. But I'm still going on my Mando cosplay.
Neat. Yeah, you can find me. I am at Choice Minis on Instagram. You can look all over the internet. It's basically Choice Minis everywhere. If you follow me on TikTok, I don't know what's wrong with you, because I just took it so that I had the name. You guys can support the channel by liking, subscribing, but most importantly, lie to your friends and tell them that this is fun. or tell them the truth if you're actually having fun. That would be cool. If you're watching on YouTube, now would be a great time to like and subscribe. Hit the stupid little bell button. If you are on Twitch, now would be a great time to follow along, get the bell so you guys can come and hang out with us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Yeah, I'm running Saturday streams now, buddy. Yeah. We were gonna play Forgotten Waters on Saturday, and then we didn't. So I just figured I'd throw it on the schedule.
Yeah. My dad came for a visit, and we had a fire. It was very good evening.
Yeah, man, it's nice that you got to see your parents.
The other flip side of infiltrators is incursors.
Incursors, thank you. Jeez. Thank you.
I can't remember what the difference is. They have different equipment too. Or no, they have the same equipment.
No, infiltrators are the ones that are you can drop in within charge distance, and then the incursors are the ones that literally project a bubble so you can't drop in on them. Like you literally can't come in out of like deep strike on them, and it's like a giant bubble too.
Just the Games Workshop site just shows the one squad, but it's like, hey, you can also make these guys cool. Remember when you guys used to show us what the other ones made?
The other ones are just literally more gear on one shoulder pad. At any rate, if you guys want, you can support the channel by, I already got through most of tell other people. We want more people to be a part of the community. Hi, dogs. You guys can also go onto our website, choiceminis.ca. You can see all of the VODs and all the rest of it are held on there. There is also merch if you'd like. You can always pick up a Northland Rita shirt or whatever else you want. When we hit 100 followers, we are going to be doing giveaways. So that is 100 blended followers between our Facebook and Facebook. Ugh. When we hit 100 followers, we're going to be doing a giveaway. I'll get a bunch of prizes and stuff here. We got some sweet merch to give away. We got gift cards for Games Workshop. So tell your friends, when we hit 100, we'll just draw randomly from our followers on Twitch and YouTube. Adam, I love you, brother.
Love you too, dude. You sparked my interest, and now I have to look up the difference in rules for these guys.
All right. I love the rest of you guys too. Equally, if not more than Adam. Please get vaccinated. Do something about white supremacy. ACAB, we will see you guys on Thursday.